Hello everyone and welcome back to the Pinnacle Winter Series, this second semi-final. Some may call this the Kato waiting room. I call this a banger semi-final and I'm very much looking forward to it. My name is Travis, alongside me is Hayes once again for another great matchup. What do you think about this one, my friend?
Oh man, banger is the choice of word I would go with as well. I mean, what a headline matchup here between forZe and GamerLegion. The team ranked 24th and the team ranked 25th in the world going up against each other in the semi-final. They both made grueling runs throughout the bracket to get to this point as well, and they are now both just one match away from getting themselves that spot in the grand final against ENCE.
Absolutely, and yeah, we saw ENCE come through very comfortably against BLUEJAYS earlier on, and that was a good win for ENCE as one of the invited teams. As I do remember a tweet that Sticko put out, I think yesterday, talking about how low the percentage win rate was for the invited teams in these events, and ENCE will counter that one and make it through to the final. But of course, the two teams we have to watch today are GamerLegion and forZe, and I've got to say, you can see how they came through to this particular stage. forZe have been the most impressive team for me as of late. Yeah. They're on a 5 best-of-3 win streak, and they have not lost a map in those 5 best-of-3, so that is incredibly impressive for them.
I mean, it's not only that they've won 5 matches, right? It's the fact that they've beaten the likes of Big, 1-win, Skate, all 2-0. So they've even got some really big sculpts in the mix there as well. And now they're going to be going up against GamerLegion, a team they'd certainly be fancying themselves against as well, who's also had a pretty impressive run through the bracket. Probably been a bit more challenging for them, Trav. 2-1 against Eternal Fire, 2-1 against the invited team of Godsend. That's a big result for them. But it's not like forZe are a team that GamerLegion can't beat by any stretch of the imagination.
No, for sure. I mean, I agree with you. GamerLegion have been a bit up and down as of late in general, but in this event, they've had a nice run. Problem is, today, we have to talk about an unfortunate change, and it is on your screen right in front of your very eyes. Era cannot play today due to illness, which is a shame. We really hope he gets better soon. Yes. But he does have a great replacement to step in his shoes. That is Zello from the Nexus roster, and we do know that we spoke about Zello quite a few times, haven't we, Hayes, on this broadcast, saying about how, you know, like, this guy's a great player, and if he ever, you know, breaks out from the Nexus team or decides to leave, he could do great work elsewhere. But, well, he's got a chance to show it today.
I love that the phrasing there, breaks out of the Nexus team. I mean, I'm sure this guy's like, you know, only been there for 5 years. Still working to get his shot. No, I mean, listen, I actually think Zello, look, doesn't he just fit in this team? You know, when you just look at Zello in the mix of this team, I think it's Era. He's my homeboy. I'm a big fan of Era, actually, as an individual, but I'm just saying I could see Zello slotting into one of these tier 2 teams with ease. And actually, I think we might see him shine today in and amongst this GamerLegion squad. Let's switch across to their opponents here in the semi-finals, the Russian squad of forZe, who have just proven to be such a formidable outfit in the recent weeks, taking some big names, almost proving to be greater than the sum of their parts type of thing when you look at these names and the individuals. Not really well-known players from the CIS region until recently, especially the likes of Norway and Shelfie. By the way, Shelfie's put up like a 1.25 rating this year so far, so he's doing really well. Zorte has been insane, and then of course Jerry, the staple name of.
Yeah, it's funny, actually, I was going to say Shelfie is the guy that I can't wait to see play today. We casted them once, right? And he had a barnstormer of a series, I think recently. It was early on in this event, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or I think a slightly different portion of this event. And he was magnificent. It was such a great to see him come through. And of course, it's another player, which, as you say, Hayes, Jerry has brought through, and this guy's been on this team for what, over 4 years at this point. So he just keeps you know, educating new talent, bringing them through, and it's absolutely fantastic to see. And I think this team right now is genuinely one of the hottest prospects, if they can keep their 5, of course. Usually, as I said, Jerry bring up the talent and eventually they move on. Well, if they can keep this 5 for a while, then maybe they could, you know, win this whole event.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think they're on an insane upward trajectory right now. I would even, you know, go so far as to say it's looking like they have the potential to reach the heights of the previous team. You know, you think of the team with Flit and Almeza and that squad. I mean, they peaked at 13th, so it's a big ask. But, you know, when you look at the young potential of this team, it just feels like they could definitely reach that point as well, just with time, especially with the way that they've looked in recently, right? So very exciting stage that this forZe team is in right now. So yeah, I'm keen to see them in the semi-final for sure. Let's get a look at the Veto, Trav, and we can see how these maps are going to be playing out here in the series to come. It's pretty easy to determine Vertigo and Dust 2 off the plates immediately permabans for both the teams. Inferno picked by forZe, and then Mirage surely GamerLegion has been noticed their best map as well.
Yeah, and that makes sense because at the moment these two maps are actually some of the probably the two maps in the pool that these two teams play the most of, I would say, actually. I mean, just having a quick glance at it, they've got I think it's something like 15, 16, 17, on maps on these two starters to begin with. forZe, they love Inferno. They have a 69% win rate and 16 maps. When it comes to Mirage, while GamerLegion will be delighted to have that as a pick, and I don't think even having a stand-in of Zello will matter too much for GamerLegion today. The problem is forZe love Mirage as well, and they've had some of their best results on it as of late. I think they destroyed Big on Mirage the other day. So yeah, that was a fantastic win, and it shows what they're capable of. And I think GamerLegion, they'll be in a little bit of trouble when it comes to the map pool. I think forZe will be, while it's okay for GamerLegion and not the end of the world, forZe will be the happier team, I think.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think forZe played the Veto nicely. They could have picked Mirage. They picked Mirage so frequently in the series that they play, but they knew that because it's GamerLegion's best map, that there's a highly likely chance that they're going to pick the map coming into the series. So they thought, all right, well, what's the second best map that we would like to play here? And they went with Inferno and they end up with Mirage as the next map. So yeah, I'm there with you. I think this map will definitely favors forZe coming into the series, especially when you couple the fact that the Swedish squad are without their sniper era. Of course, you've got Zello, who's a more than capable replacement, but it's not just about the mechanics of the individual and his capacity. It's more about how he's going to fit into the system, knowing how all their protocols, their reactions, how they play the game in general, right? So it's going to be it's going to be tough for him to slot in, especially against a team that's as well oiled as forZe are, Trav. forZe are looking so well drilled right now. So any small hesitations, mistakes, slip-ups, they're going to capitalize on that, and you expect there to be all of those issues with there being a stand-in for GamerLegion.
Yeah, and actually the thing that's remarkable is that, while you say that they're well drilled and they, which is absolutely correct, Jerry also, in general, has quite a loose calling style, right? He lets his stars do what they want to do, make plays which can win them rounds. I mean, Jerry himself, I think last time we actually casted Jerry, I think he had one of those insane, aces, I believe, that finished up with the AWP from memory. So yeah, Jerry is, he can do his own stuff as well as, building and going in first to activate his younger and, talented teammates. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this series pans out. As you say, no era, Zello instead. It's rough. I agree with you. It's not just the talent. It's fitting into the system, learning how it will be in the space of probably a few hours. I imagine he'd be called up.
Well,
because the reason Era's not playing is due to illness, so he probably wouldn't have known that, a day in advance probably. So yeah, I feel like it's going to be hard for Zello, but still a chance to see what he can do and show what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to be hoping to help GamerLegion out here, essentially help them get into that grand final tomorrow, where hopefully Era will... Oh, it's not tomorrow, actually, it's stated today. So even if GamerLegion do make it into the final against ENCE, Zello's going to have to follow up into that matchup as well, no doubt. And they did use the word sudden illness, so like you say, it did kind of just come about out of nowhere, and we do hope that Era's all good. Shout out to you, buddy. Lots of love, and heal up quickly. I wonder if you could make it back in time for the grand final if they do win this game. Anyway, that's mere speculation for now. I want to shift the conversation back to forZe for a second and talk about Jerry and the role that he's taken on in this team. And it really feels like he sets his team up for success just by the way that he approaches the game. Mostly on the T side, you were talking about how they have that looser approach, gives the space to the individuals. I feel like he also creates a lot of space just by the way that he makes plays, he makes pushes. He takes on the roles that nobody really wants to do so that everybody else can get the trades and feel comfortable in their space and their roles. So I think Jerry is just doing so much right now to make everybody feel comfortable on forZe.
Yeah, and that's why he's actually quite a significant legend, in the scene. Like, I think
he's 23, by the way.
Yeah, and he's only 23. That's the wildest thing, right? Like, you would think, okay, well, this is the kind of guy who's probably around about, age 27, he's been around on one team, considering he's been on forZe for, what did we say, like over 4 years, right? So that is the remarkable factor of that. You would think that would be a player that would be around the age of 27, but no, he's been on this team for 4 years since he was, age 19, and being the IGL, he's absolutely brought up these amazing, pool of talent. And I think Shelfie, as we spoke about, is the main one for me today. I want to see perform well because he was great last time out. I want to see some more consistency. And to be fair, going by recent statistics and recent results that we've watched and casted ourselves, I think it's going to stay that way.
Yeah, I mean, another player I'm going to be keeping my eye on here for the forZe side is Zorte, the sniper. I mean, he's been in the team for a while now, over a year. So, you know, him and Jerry have built a really strong relationship up until this point. And it just feels like he's been playing the best Counter-Strike of his career so far. Obviously, not like he's had a very long career, but we're just seeing the best out of Zorte that we've seen so far with that AWP, taking initiative, being the star player, creating the space, you know, on the T rounds, getting a lot of opening picks for his team as well, which is so important for your AWPer. I think when I checked, I think he's got something like a 70% success rate in his opening duels, and he's taking a quarter of the opening duels as well for his team. So he's doing a lot of work finding those opening picks and creating the space and the chances for the team to do something in the round. So definitely going to be watching him here in the semi-final as well.
Yeah, and of course, the thing we have to talk about with forZe as well GamerLegion have been a bit up and down with their results. Yes. In not this event, they had a nice little run, you know, winning a couple of close matches 2-1, but they've had some, you know, pretty comfortable losses, I guess you could say as well. In other events, I believe they fell 2-0 to Ecstatic in the ESL Challenger League last night. So, yeah, that was not a convincing result really for them. Whereas if we look at forZe, sure, it's all in the one event they played in, but 777, Tricked, Skade, 1 win, big. All 5, 2-0. Not one map dropped. That is the scary factor. And just looking, as we said, as you say, I mean, I'm looking at some of Shelfie's stats right now. And yeah, this guy, at the moment, you know, 1.16 rating last 3 months. He has 0.73 kills per round. That's really good. Only 62 maps played, but he's even got a a pretty decent rounds contributed percentage as well. So like, even when he's not getting the kills, he's doing lots for his team. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm really, and he's only 19 by the way, Shelfie.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a guy to watch. I really do believe. I know this is very early on in the guy's career, but even in forZe, only 60 maps played is literally nothing. But I'm feeling like we're going to see this guy around for a while yet.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely showing insane amounts of potential early on in his career here with the rifle, and I'm certainly keen to see what he can do in the year of 2022. Shouldn't be much longer before we get into the action. Cast to start the game. Travis, what do you do? Why haven't you started the match yet? We're all waiting for you.
I've lost the button.
Press the big green gun, but it's got to be there somewhere. It's the big green one. Like, it can't go missing, mate. Oh well, while Travis finds the button, we'll just carry on the conversation. I also wanted to mention, you know, for the side of GamerLegion, it feels like, you know, they were one of the teams that didn't make any changes coming through from the end of last season into the new season here as well. So they almost sort of should have had a head start on the season in comparison to everybody else. But and while they have been climbing up the ranks, you know, I think they're up to like 25th in the world now or something like that. But
also,
it still feels like well, GamerLegion it is that I'm referring to not.
They're both. That's what we spoke about beforehand, right? Like
okay,
124, 125. So
okay,
it's
so
very,
GamerLegion's
very
like
close.
24th, I see. Yeah. So, but it still kind of feels like maybe we've just been lacking a little bit out of GamerLegion in 2022 so far. Like I still feel like there's room for improvement with this team.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the thing is, like, I was quite impressed with this streak they had. Like, let's just have a look. I'm just looking at it now, right? We've got the 2-0 versus BLUEJAYS, the 2-1 versus 0-0 Nation, the 2-1 versus Eternal Fire, and the 2-0 versus 1 win. Then that streak, I think I actually saw some of the GamerLegion players, you know, tweeting about that streak. Ever since then, unfortunately, maybe they've cursed themselves because, as we said, it's been a little bit inconsistent. They lost 2-1 to Big Academy. Like,
not
hello,
good.
That's a bit weird. They lost 16-11 to Ave. I believe that was in the RMR qualifier, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's okay to then, you know, bounce back with 2-1 wins against Eternal Fire and Godsent. Then you mix that in with a 2-1 loss to Vizsla Krakow and the 2-0 comfortable win for Ecstatic over them yesterday. It doesn't fill you with a huge amount of confidence in terms of the future. But the thing is, you know, winning this game, even with Zello as a stand-in, winning this game and getting to the grand final and putting up a good game against ENCE, for example, that could, you know, easily springboard you onto better things. So
yeah, sure.
I think ENCE would be considered the favourites for the final, I think, if it was against GamerLegion. But at the same time, I think, especially, you know, having GamerLegion have a good core, right? They played with this group for quite a long time now. So you would hope that they can push on to that next level.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's no more about, you know, consistently, beating tier 3 teams and then competing with tier 2 teams at the lower level. They want to be pushing themselves up, sometimes taking a map off a tier 1.5 team or something like that, you know, just showing that progression the entire way through. I feel like you need a tier 1.5 because tier 1 is just like so much higher than tier 2. Feels like you want to call like GamerLegion tier 2, for example. But anyway, enough of that, we digress. It is going to be time for the first map. Thank you, Travis. It took you long enough. We've been talking for 15 minutes, for God's sake. Pinnacle betting odds, 1.4 for forZe, 3.0 for GamerLegion. Let's get underway.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to this one very much indeed. Let's see how it pans out. First round underway. Zorta has the flashbang. Him is the player with the diffuse kit and the smoke. And he's, of course, now playing with his countryman Zello in this game. So let's see if they've got some synergy with that one. Zello already will get a good start for his stand-in performance with an opening kill. But the trades are good onto the B site, and Jerry will get some good trades and a nice little run boost as well to leap a player across. Shelfie will recover the bomb and will get it planted in a 4v3. Jerry looking for a kill, but actually Rusty takes it, so now we've got a 3v3 retake to play out.
Interesting post-plant positions being taken up. They want to force the fight with the CT players because of that top banana smoke. And my God, Shelfie and Zorte just tear off their heads. It's going to be Rusty left remaining, tapping away. He's been able to find 2 quick kills, and somehow he gets back around the corner as well. Kenzie, he's going to try and play the time game. Rusty doesn't have the time on his side. He can see the kit, but unfortunately he can't use it. And, well, Kenzie's just called his bluff here because he probably saw the kits as well. Finally, he's going to end up swinging out, and there's actually just enough time here for Rusty. Oh, no, the indecision, the hesitation. I don't think that he's actually got it anymore, you know? I don't think he's got it. He needed to go for the kit straight away.
That is a shame.
Because he deserved that one.
Yeah, that is a shame. I completely agree with you. I think that's the only choice for him there. He went back to the bomb, realized he had no time, and then sort of the double take of then realizing, okay, I need the kit. But even then, I think he got caught on that little bit of hardball right in panic. So that slowed him down. And yeah,
maybe someone said you have time, like, because you got the music on to tell the 10-second diffusion. Yeah. Someone said you have time, so he turned around for a brief second, and then he's like, no, I need to get the kit, and he just had to do one or the other. It felt like, and he would have won that round.
Yeah, comms can easily confuse you in that situation, and unfortunately this time he will not choose the right option, and it will be they've been pissed around for forZe only just a bit of a weird circumstance, but that is all you can really take, deal with it and move on. They'll already get a quick scout frag into the next round, so 4v4 early on, forZe of course coming in, and Isaac getting more frags with the deagle from Sandbags. How is he still alive? Surely he'll get taken down soon. He'll be very low surely in a split second, and now he's not just low, he's out. So Shelfie with a second, and then they will take down Imit as well, so that probably will be enough. And a nice lurk from Kenzie toward balcony will deal with this round, and it should be the anti-force by victory.
Well, here's the thing, is that even when forZe do lose a pick in the round, or whatever the case is, they've still got so much depth, right? There's so many layers to this team. It's like a Hydra. You cut off one head, 2 more reappear type of thing. Like, it's never like you can just count them out of the round. They've got really good, like, a calm, composed approach to the game, even if they're down in like a 3v5 or something. And it doesn't feel like there's any weak links, right? It feels like Jerry's probably the weakest fragger on this team, but, you know, that's even saying a lot because we've seen how capable he is. So this forZe team are just always scary. Exactly, sure.
Yeah, I think, you know, the thing is with Jerry is that he's not necessarily even a poor fragger because he's the IGL, right? Because he puts himself in those roles that, at the end of the day, allow his teammates to shine, not just the situation of puts himself in first, like running in first, jumping in first, making sure that his teammates trade him, and he'll be the sacrifice for a lot of these sort of plays. So it makes sense at the end of the day.
Sure. Someone's going to be taking on the roles for everybody else to succeed. KNZ going to be coming into Boiler, gets free, so doesn't spot the second part of the setup, but not going to be costing forZe any individuals as Shelfie will get the kill. They do still push into the 3 players that are stacked up on the Steve Lob side, and while they only have pistols, those pistols are reigning supreme. At least Zorte will be able to head for the hills with the bomb on his back and get around the corner just in time. But GamerLegion have just blown the door wide open, man. There's Kenzie makes a wise decision to split through second middle. He needs to take a detour because GamerLegion are hot on his heels.
I think his Shelfie's got a very big off angle. It's actually really well shoulder picked though. That was very smart.
What has happened?
By Zello and Rusty, and that means that Shelfie will get taken down. Okay, so bomb can be planted. They both have Galils. They only have one grenade. It's not like they have a Molotov or a smoke to delay this retake, and I'm sure it'll be a retake they'll consider because they've got 3 AKs recovered, no defuse kit and no armors, but they can buy next round anyway, so give this one a go. They're holding back for now. In comes the smoke, actually. Smoke off the pit player, but there's a big gap in that in the end, and I think that will help out kenzie. He'll get one, and he'll get the second, and they're just about recovering this one in the end. Isaac 1v2. Looking for at least 1 kill would be nice, but kenzie has dealt with it in the end. 4 kills for him on the round to recover a little bit of a dangerous situation.
Yes, certainly. It was looking really comfortable at first for forZe when they got those entries onto the A bomb site, but then absurdly they decide, all right, well, we've got A control, there's no one else there on A, let's just walk into B and get the kills there as well. And they nearly actually pay the ultimate price there, but they are able to rotate the bomb back in time, get across to the A side of the map, and kenzie seals the deal. Actually, that smoke there a bit questionable in the end, right? I feel like it probably could have been better used if they just thrown it closer to the wagon and tried to isolate the side player, because kenzie actually used the smoke to his advantage there.
I was confused by that smoke, I agree.
Yeah. forZe go 3-0 here on their map pick. Good start. Into the gun round we go.
Into a gun round that has Zello on the AWP, and I'm sure any of you that have watched this level of competition, and especially the Multi-Vibes events, will know how good Zello is on that Nexus roster. He's been great on that team for many, many years. And what can he do in this round? Unfortunately, he gets taken out immediately, but thankfully for him, it's a wonderful bait setup to get him 3 kills. And it gives his team a 3v2 as well. The A bomb site's open for business, so Shelfie on the 9 points of health can rotate through balcony and get the bomb planted. But he's burning down and down to 3 HP. kenzie could be the hero again here. He's going to have to be with Shelfie so low, but he has managed to rotate round to the headshot angle of Graveyard. So this is a good spot for him to be in right now. 2v2. Isaac is the player with the kit.
Nice boost up here for Rusty to try and get that player in towards the pit, but they're not finding these kills they so desperately need. Yes, Isaac has the kit, but time is getting away from them. And I don't even know if they want to commit to this. So they're going to have to end up making their way through, but they walk straight into the crosshair of kenzie, who's racked up another kill, and he's going to be able to put the finishing touches on the round here as well, as he takes Rusty down. 4-0. forZe complete the first gun round, and kenzie, well, he's up to 8 kills, but I'm pretty sure he's got 7 of those in the past 2 rounds.
You're bang on. Exactly. 7 in the past 2. This guy is having a fantastic start to map 1, and GamerLegion will feel a little bit hard done by, I feel like, in these opening couple of rounds, that they haven't been able to at least win one of them. The pistol round indecision, that force buy round, the hard eco round where they got the 3 AKs recovered that they couldn't translate, and then that round as well where they had a 3v2. They've had a chance in all 3 of those sort of easy rounds that, not easy rounds, but all 3 of those rounds that would have mattered so far, and so they'll be kicking themselves a little bit, but as it is, it will be the clean start for forZe, and kenzie is the hero with that one in the last 2 rounds. Emma with the 3 kills and that bait set up toward long in the cubby. I thought it almost would have done enough, especially with Shelfie so low, but
true, me too.
They played the 2v2 perfectly, didn't they?
Yeah, they certainly did. And that's the thing about forZe, like I said already, is the amount of depth that this team has. Talking about the stand-in a little bit more here for Zello, I suppose one positive is the fact that they find themselves on Inferno and Mirage as the first 2 maps in the series. For both very simple maps in terms of strategy. Pretty much played the same by everybody in terms of how they go about their business and taking map control back and forth.
So.
Yeah, Nexus are strong on both the maps as well. Zello was strong on both the maps in general. Speaking of, man, does get the opening pick, but Shelfie right back there to get 2 of his own and restore stability in the round for forZe. But going back to the point, it feels like, Zello's going to have an easier time of it slotting into the systems here on Inferno and Mirage than he would on a map like maybe Overpass or Nuke or something like that. So I think that there's still a chance for them to be competitive for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that whatsoever. And once again, the pistol's doing good damage for GamerLegion in this round. Isaac is on the site with a 5-7, and that's a 1-hit headshot from close range. There we go, and the big flank's coming in.
No.
Oh, but Rusty's just missed the timing. That's so unlucky. Again, GamerLegion will be feeling hard done by. This grenade will not be finishing off Jerry. He's way too healthy for that, and he has to look between 2 different angles to win this clutch, and unfortunately, it's not to be. Shelfie with a 4K in the round, up to 11 kills already. I said I wanted to see him perform. Well, how about that? He's the top fragger in the server by far already. And that is another unfortunate round for GamerLegion, it has to be said.
again, I mean, it does feel like these rounds are getting close because forZe are sometimes taking some unnecessary fights. And in that case, they lost a lot of kills to pistols. They even took too long to respond. They should have pushed onto that A site a lot sooner than they did. It gave GamerLegion the chance to rotate across and get themselves in position, and they nearly won that eco round. So as you say, lots of close rounds, and you can see that by the economic damage that's been dealt. Not too much money in the bank here on the forZe players, even though they've won 5 consecutive rounds. So GamerLegion, I mean, just need to convert one of these here, and they can start to sink their teeth into the CT side.
Exactly, you're bang on. Yeah, you're absolutely right in saying that the economy has not been built up yet on the forZe side. So, in a situation where easily grab a stranglehold of this game, Zello will rotate round to Library and rip the head off of Jerry, of course, as we mentioned, Jerry the player to usually go in first on these plays, and he will get taken down first from that one. Cross comes in, and that was spotted by Zello, so he'll have to rotate a little bit around to avoid the possibility of him being flanked toward Library. You can see him just backing off now, avoiding that angle, but he will actually be faced by Shalfie. Shalfie feeling very confident, of course, in these early stages with the start he's had. Lovely jump spot from Zero, actually, to spot the AWP of Zorta towards short. All 3 players here for forZe. In we go.
They do have time to work with. They're just desperately trying to find this kill before they commit, but the problem is now they work their way into the crossfire, and well, he just lets his A1S sing, and while it is silent, it is violent. 2 kills end up coming through from him, and that's going to be shutting the round down. Kenzie looking to make his way back, but I mean, he's going to have to fight to take his AK into the next round, and fight he will.
Yeah, that's obviously, as we said at this stage, it's actually quite an important save, and that... Okay, Isaac's going to feel a bit unlucky with that one. That's a disgusting strafe one tap from Kenzie, as he looks to try and save it, of course. Thing is, though, it doesn't necessarily matter too much. GamerLegion have done the correct thing in, you know, maybe putting 2 players in to try and take the last player down, but not the third, because keeping the majority alive is the most important thing, and they keep the AWP up on Zello as well after his 2 kills. So that's a good first round for GamerLegion. And as we said, now forZe will be struggling a little bit with their economy. They'll be able to get a couple of AKs still, but surrounding those are a Deagle, Mac-10, and a Tech-9. So just to see what they do with this buy. A reminder that if you can scroll down, look at our panels below the stream. Those are all our lovely partners for the Pinnacle Winter Series. And if you click on the Extrafy logo as well, you'll be able to take them to your website or their website. You'll get 10% off at checkout. Anything in their store, of course. So yeah, that, and now we get to see how this force buy for forZe will work out.
Rough life, winning 5 consecutive rounds and not being able to afford a buy after losing 1, but such is the nature of the beast. GamerLegion getting a lot of kills in the rounds that they were losing. Now we need to see them convert this round, because that's when they really start to come to life on Inferno, right? If they win this round, anti-eco in the next, and we see what they're made of. And it does look like there's going to be a big fight towards top middle, or is there? Numbers towards apartments. This could be the perfect strategy coming through from forZe. There's nobody actually watching this right now. It's Zello who's tasked with making his way back onto the site to try and control it, but with the AWP, it's not really ideal. His teammates in mid have done a great job to get those 2 frags, but Zello has fallen. They desperately need to get the kill on Zero, who's dropped the bomb carrier, and ensures that GamerLegion still have the advantage in the round.
And Zero's got a Mac-10 to face as well, and considering that he's not full HP, that's why he's playing so defensive on this one, but look at the damage done. Shalfie, literally 1 HP, and Norvi, only 18. Isaac Swinning should have the timing, and there we go. 1 quick tap, takes the attempted bomb plant down. Now Shalfie with a recovered AWP in a 1v3 on 1 HP. How will this one play out? If he gets the first kill, it might be nice, but unfortunately double swing it quite correctly there. Well played from GamerLegion, and they keep their little run going. And of course, as that was a force buy for forZe, well, as we said, GamerLegion, 1 round win, and they could be back in the game and up against a full eco here. So the round gap should only be 2.
I mean, it was a really nice round coming through there from GamerLegion, actually, with the setup towards middle. And while Zello didn't get a kill, the fact that, you know, Zero and his teammate at top mid found those 2 kills and they both stayed alive was actually what was the most important, because they were in position to make sure that forZe couldn't cross from pit into the site itself. So they couldn't really, you know, push the advantage home and push the fact that they'd taken pit control. They couldn't really capitalize on that. So nice response there from GamerLegion, you know, playing detached from the site, but still controlling it from a distance. And well, they've earned themselves the prospect of an anti-eco here.
Have indeed. Should be a clean 3 rounds on the board, and if GamerLegion can win a round like this with all 5 players alive, then it's them. We'll be looking very solid indeed. That's the goal in this round, and the goal for forZe is really at this stage just force GamerLegion to use their utility, so they have to repurchase it in the next round. When you have
that way.
Yeah, when you have 4 Glocks and a PT50, as it so seems, with no armor, you're not going to really get any progress on a round such as this. And then there are actually all 5 helmets on GamerLegion as well, so there's no risk of a cheeky Glock tap taking someone down. First frag from Isaac, and he will use that incendiary, which they do. They're going to run straight through it. Oh, no, okay. I mean, Isaac, that's probably not as much damage as he hoped he would have done, but the Molotov has taken down 3 players to basically a tickle distance from death, so I think at the bomb planted, it's a success, and I think they will do.
That's why I really despise that setup that GamerLegion employ, and I'll explain why now as we just see the retake come through. It should be fairly rudimentary at this point after GamerLegion has gone up. It's more just a fact of how many kills can forZe get. Oh, they forced the issue through CT. That's an AWP.
Oh, no.
Jerry with the AK has gotten a frag as well. Surely this isn't happening right now. Shelfie has the AWP, and it's all on his shoulders. And unfortunately, he can't do anything about the defuse now that he's lost his teammate. But still, forZe getting 3 kills, a bomb plant, and wasting all that utility used by GamerLegion. And all they invested in the round was $300 with the P250. They'll take that any day of the week, man.
That was, as you say, that is a huge success for GamerLegion. 3 kills, bomb plant, with only 1 P250 invested. Well, that's incredible.
Yeah,
and,
I just want to talk about why I don't like that setup just before we go too far into this next gun round here. So the thing is, right, you're in an anti-eco round as the CT side. It's not that necessary to control Banana and cheat that extra player across towards the A side because you're playing against pistols. And so I don't think that they should have actually left Isaac there by himself, because you can get overwhelmed and then you've lost full control. If there was a second player there, he easily gets all those frags. So just a point in your anti-ecos, I don't think it's necessary to play 4-1. But now into the gun round we go. Frags being traded right now back and forth towards the top of Banana. It's ENCE who ensures that the numbers remain neutral as forZe do secure control.
Yeah, that's exactly what you'd expect when you have that amount of presence towards the top of Banana and those numbers invested. Get those even trades. If you don't, then it's by no means a good thing, and it would be classed as a pretty significant failure. You have so many players there and you just can't get a couple of frags. They do eventually go 1 for 1. Jerry with 2 on his AK. And I saw the quick message in chat, of course, saying, why is Zello playing instead of Era? Well, we're going to have to keep reminding you, of course, throughout the duration of the series, because new people will be popping up all the time. Unfortunately, Era is unwell, and we hope that he feels better soon. And who knows, maybe he will even feel better for the grand final if GamerLegion somehow win this game. So we'll keep you up to date, obviously. We'll keep up to date on the Twitters as well to find out how he's getting on. We do wish him better. And now in this 3v3 with 30 seconds to go, with the smokes coming in toward B, it's all down to Imma to get a couple of kills. He does spot the information, but he's tagged down to 15 points of health. So all he can do, drop the incendiary and fall back to ruins and wait for his teammates to rotate in. It's Zero and Zello, which is a fun one to cast, it has to be said. Combination of those two with the 2 diffuse kits available. But Norvi is holding a very nice off angle towards the Banana. He should spot Zello, and he does. This makes this retake almost impossible, and I think they're already calling it off.
Yeah, heading for the hills now that they've lost that Romanian AWP from the equation. You did mention it at the start of the broadcast that ENCE and Zello, of course, both from Romania. They actually both played together briefly in Nexus, actually. ENCE was a part of Nexus for a period of time. So they'd be very familiar with each other. And probably how they ended up actually getting Zello as a stand-in, no doubt. It does look like, Yeah,
that's... I agree with you, actually. I was about to say, it wouldn't surprise me if it's like, oh, okay, unfortunately, Era's ill. The information that we got, through our admins, of course, very grateful for that, is the message came through, barely even half an hour before the game started, right? It was very, very short notice that the admins not notified us, and probably that they even knew about it. So it wouldn't surprise me if Imma was like, okay, well, I need a mate who can play Counter-Strike who's good on the AWP. Well, it's Zello. He's available. Probably the best pick we could go for.
I mean, speak about having a mate that's available and he's pretty good on the AWP. You're not putting your FPLC mate into the mix here. You're getting in goddamn Zello. This guy is an incredible sniper player. But the problem is they're down 6-3 right now, Trav. And while we have seen a bit of a flurry coming through from GamerLegion, we've seen signs of life from them. It's still forZe who are in control of proceedings, right? Even in these rounds where they've gone down with an early player, I still have confidence in them to convert this just based on what we've seen so far out of them.
Yeah, they had good recoveries. Unfortunately, that's a really nice shot from Rusty. Well, Blind and through a smoke. That's one for a kill feed screenshot. So it's a 4v3 still. Rusty rotating around. I think he has spotted Jerry toward the up on the back of the site as well. But unfortunately, Shelfie taking 0. This makes this one pretty difficult to retake. Zello has got that.
Yeah, there we go. It's done.
But yeah, you're right. I think falling away with that AK is the correct choice because they have. I mean, they'll have plenty to work with in the next round. But you're not just saving the AK, you're saving the defuse kit as well. So every little helps.
Yeah, I mean,
even waiting for exits.
Even the cash, right? It means that when it comes through into that gun round after this, if they lose that gun round, they're still even just building up more money. And it's not like, oh, because we can buy in the next round, there's no point in us saving the guns here. Also, I mean, it's AKs. Everybody loves an AK on the CT side. That's just a given.
Exactly.
It feels like forZe just keep falling back onto this B bomb side every time they lose an early pick. It's like, well, let's just go B. Let's just group up. Let's just hit that B site. Let's just, they feel like even if there's a numbers deficiency, they can still trade their way through and then convert the post plants. And they've had a really high success rates in doing that so far.
Yeah, that is a really good point. Because obviously we saw in that early portion of this half, when they had that 5-round streak in a row, we mentioned how GamerLegion, had those couple of rounds. I think 3 of the first 4 rounds, which were very winnable for them, which they couldn't bring through due to maybe some indecision and some poor luck. Look at the damage early on again, though. Rusty down to 45, and he hasn't seen a soul yet. They're down to 71 as well. Isaac's taking a tag too from those early banana grenades, and by contrast, forZe are quite healthy at the moment.
Yeah, they've been able to get themselves some nice map control towards banana as well. And with so much time left on the clock, it looks like now they're going to be re-exploring middle. 4 players making their way through, but it's just Zello on a super tight angle. They're going to be able to find that opening pick. Shelfie peeks in dry, and that's actually just because of a lack of util here for the T side. How are they so light on utility? I didn't actually... Have they thrown like everything that they had in the first 30 seconds in the round or something like that?
It's a really good point. Yeah, I think they deployed a lot toward B early on. I mean, we saw the damage they've done, but there's the fact there's a lack of smokes and flashes. I absolutely agree with you. That is a bit of a shock so far. And Zello will be delighted to be given the opening pick. He even held the more crouched angle as well, so he could... Oh, nice movement to get another pick and fall away toward Arch. Yeah, a little backward. Backward strafes are very satisfying to look at when you see an AWP just leap away from the angle like that. Zello gets his second, as you say. I mean, again, we have to keep doubling down on it. Lack of util is giving Zello these opening frags pretty comfortably. And with 25 seconds to go, really, if you're forZe, you have the money to buy next round and invest in utility as well. So there's really no point in going for this one. So just keep your 3 guns and go again.
Yeah, absolutely. Your chances of winning it from here are incredibly slim, considering that GamerLegion have got a great setup on both of the sites right now, and you're going to want to rebuy the AWP and a couple of AKs, so why not just call it a day, cut your losses, and take these guns into the next round from the get-go. But it is GamerLegion who answer back and make sure that forZe don't get too far out of control. They don't snowball too much here on this T side of their map pick. Winning a vital round there. I mean, those gunfights in towards middle just picked up by Zello initially, that just pretty much seals the deal, right? He gets 2 picks, and that's the round over. So great work coming through from the stand in there, locking it down towards mid, and also taking the initiative. It's not like he just fell back because he was forced back. He was happy to hold that angle and get that first pick, and then the second was good as well. Absolutely.
It's a good round from GamerLegion, and thankfully for Zello, the utility coming back to bite forZe there. They got plenty of it this round. But that is another duel won by Zello. Zello versus Zorta. I'll tell you what, it's a tasty duel to watch and consider. At the moment, Zello, even though it's 7-4 to forZe, I feel like Zello's been winning it because Zorta is only 3-9 right now. Zello's having some great impact early on here, of course. And when you can plug and play a stand-in AWPer, it can be very handy indeed when he's of the talent of Zello. Obviously behind the smoke toward the long position. Grenade coming in toward pit. That will be seen and telegraphed from the GamerLegion side. So they know there's at least one player still toward mid. Bomb is only just being recovered though, so decision yet to be made. And now we explore banana.
Yeah, forcing back the CTs into the site over on that A-bomb side of the map is, stock standard Inferno protocols, and then retaking banana. There's going to be a boost up that comes through Zello. I mean, uncharacteristically misses that flick, and then Shelfie just swings out immediately after getting that kill, and he takes Isaac down as well. Job done and done. Round over. Once again, one forZe lose that opening advantage from the round. They just fall back on the B-bomb side, and they've been able to find that same result. What a shot that was there from Shelfie to get the third. And, well, I mean, he's just burst into this game up to 16 kills already.
Yeah, absolutely. That is Well, we said before the game that watching Shalfie has been a fun experience in the last few games. forZe won every single of their last 5 best of 3s 2-0. And I think Shalfie has been the main reason for a lot of them. And once again, he's showing what he's made of. 3 kills, 2 entries towards top of Banana. Zello, I would say, is this time a little bit unfortunate. He's holding such a big off angle that sort of half-wall boost can expose. But still, Shalfie had to hit the shot and hit the follow-up toward the player sandbags as well. It was a nice setup. I didn't mind it at all, but completely exposed. Basically, thanks to Shalfie alone. And as you say, 16-7. Very good so far. GamerLegion will call a timeout to try and discuss what to do next. They do have a bye. They're going to be fine. But, yeah.
Just got to find a way to shut down Shalfie and Kenzie. Got 27 kills between the two of them right now. Zorte with just the 3, Norby with the 3. Jerry got 7 to his name. But Shalfie and Kenzie have just been doing a huge amount of work with those rifles here in the first half. And this could be a bit of a make or break round here for GamerLegion as well, right? Because if they lose this round as we shift ourselves through the player cams, get to see Eam. If GamerLegion lose this round, Trav, it feels like they're going to be in a significant spot of bother in this first map at that point. Yeah,
I agree. And it's going to be important to at least keep the half even, I would say. I completely agree with that one. Always nice to see the player cams, of course, at the semi-final stage for these events. You can really feel immersed. And what's not nice to see is a bit of team damage in spawn. Immo will get tagged down by his teammate to 87, but it's only a little accidental love slash, so don't worry about it.
Oh, man.
Though.
Yeah, there's no love with those pieces of utility flying in towards Banana right now from either of these teams. Rusty makes his way back with 34 points of health. Damage done to both Jerry and Kenzie as well. There's going to be forZe, who are probably the happier of the two teams because of the control they've been able to get. And I wonder what GamerLegion do here, Trav, just because of the way that they set up on that A side of the map is interesting. You can see they've got 3 players towards lane right now, but they won't be feeling comfortable with the amount of presence forZe are having in Banana. Look how much pressure they're putting on this B side. Surely there has to be a rotation that comes through from the A side of the map. Is that going to be the plan here for forZe? Are they just trying to go for a double pump? What is the intention?
I think whatever the intention is right now, I don't really think GamerLegion are necessarily set up well for it. Rusty's just waiting for a CT smoke to spray through, which does trust to luck. He will right-click a new fresh smoke onto Banana, so it will delay forZe a little while longer. The utility can now be thrown in. He'll deploy his own incendiary, and that again, this is good delaying work from Rusty with his utility so far. The nade should be pretty tasty as well. It does tag down Norby a bit lower than what he already was. But that grenade towards CT, he was low to begin with, of course, don't forget, from those early grenades, and he'll get a bit of a taste of his own medicine. We'll go down to the HG, and that's all down to Isaac on the back of the site. As they cross toward Paul, good flash, but now they know he's there. And he should take him down pretty easily. Gets 1. He probably needs 2 more, and that's so difficult from this position. Shalfie does well to get another, but Isaac's still doing good work. Unfortunately, with frags coming in elsewhere, it's all down to Immer, and he can't get more than 1. 2 kills for Shalfie, 2 kills for Zorta, 9 rounds for forZe. Very solid indeed.
Man, that got so incredibly close, though. I mean, I know forZe look quite comfortable at the end of that round, but that was dicey, especially considering the fact that Isaac was in the back of the site there. You know, left alone in the 2v4, it was looking grim for GamerLegion, but he stood a chance there. He got the first kill, and then Zorte was actually completely blinded up by a flashbang. He gets that kill blind, and you know what? If he doesn't hit that shot, I think Isaac gets that kill onto the sniper player as well. Then it's a 2v2, and he's still alive there towards Newbox, so unfortunately for GamerLegion, doesn't really work out. And forZe, again, with some great composure and attention to detail, converts a vital round. It's going to be an eco for the CT side. We've seen them look good in these eco rounds so far. They haven't converted any of them, but they've certainly been competitive in them.
Jerry choosing to trade that one, and he will do that with the Krieg, close range. After you see the Krieg on Inferno anymore, Jerry maybe refusing to accept that times have passed, but still, it does make it look good. It's still a good gun, of course, but it does feel a bit like a semi-auto rifle these days. Let's recover the kill and make it a 4v3 with the help of Shalfie once again to even up, or at least give them the advantage, I should say, in round 14. GamerLegion, as we said, saving for the final round of the half, which they desperately need. And 5, I think, is a necessity at this stage.
Check the plan here again, Trav. Into the B bomb site they go always. This is just the fallback in these anti-eco rounds and these rounds where they lose early advantages. It's just like, cool, let's just exec B.
Yep.
And
it's free.
You know, I would. It is on this occasion, sure, completely vacant. And I imagine being like the B player against forZe. Like you've got the individuals like Shelfie, just like taking contact top banana, like looking for fights. Somebody like Kenzie just peeking his head around there. Like it just feels like a nightmare to be playing the B bomb side of Inferno against forZe's T side. So yeah, I'm not surprised that it's looked so vulnerable. And maybe a bit of a talking point when our interview comes through later if forZe are the team who win the series.
A good point. Yeah, of course we will have an interview with the winner, one of the players from the winning team of this game, and yeah, it's actually a really good point as well. Like, GamerLegion have tried different looks, right? They've genuinely tried different ideas. They've had that set up with Zello, of course. He was the AWP toward A toward the beginning of the half. Then he went toward B, got an opening pick, fell back, then held that big off angle and got caught off in that crossfire by Shelfie, was taking both players down. They tried it defensively, as we saw with Rusty towards CT, deploying all his utility slowly, saving it until the play comes in. That didn't work either. They've tried like 2 or 3 different setups, and it hasn't really worked for them that well. It just shows maybe what forZe are just the step ahead at the moment in terms of their quality.
Yes. I mean, once again, great decision for them to go with the pick of Inferno. We're just seeing, how strong they actually are on this map right now. Great display on this T side. Trav, we were talking about what a fantastic run of form they've had in the past few days coming to this matchup, winning their past 5 games all 2-0, as we see Norby actually falling first in the round. None of those maps have gone more than 16-10. Every single map they've won either 16-10 or more one-sided. So
I actually
it's not like they've just been winning their games. Yeah, they've actually been dominant. And that's against like Skade, Big, 1 win. It's like, bro, they've just outclassing everybody right now, and it's looking like that here once again as well.
Yeah, and the most remarkable thing about that is this, of course, these tournaments are currently being played online. The inconsistencies and of online, just everyone online and everything online, it is so hard to bring through. And at the moment, they're sort of being the anti-inconsistent. They're just completely proving that point wrong and destroying everyone, as you say, very consistently indeed. But yeah, that is a miss-smoke. That could give Zello a chance here. They're going to have to re-smoke it. Thankfully, they've got a second one. In we go. CT boost on the flower pots. Can he do anything about this one? There's one. Oh, almost gets a spray transfer towards Shelfie as well. But not yet. But it does give his team a 4v3 on the retake. And this is one they have to win. 2 kits available. Zello will lead off, though, and will have to abide his time.
Not sure that they've actually had success in any of their retakes so far here on Inferno. Going to have to be the first of the lot and try and make sure they've got at least a 5th round to work with going into that second half. It feels like 11-4 is just going to be too far gone. We've got the smoke that comes in towards top banana. Zorte's going to want to get ahead of that right now. Kenzie's looking to take the contact away from him as well. GamerLegion certainly taking their time on the retake, and it's looking like that's going to work against them as well. 2 quick kills for the T side. Kenzie finds one of his own as well. Job done and dusted. forZe complete a fantastic first half as they go up 11-4.
Brilliant. I've loved everything what I've seen from forZe so far. They've managed to win the rounds they're supposed to win. They've managed to recover the rounds where GamerLegion have had advantages. And it's been absolutely perfect for them. Shelfie, 20 kills and a half. That's when you know you've had a banger performance, when you get the lovely number 20 plus on your little scoreboard there.
Yeah, I mean,
very
that's
solid number.
Rare that you see 20 kills in a half, right? Like that's just once you've hit 20 in one half, you've had a super dominant first half. And to do that on the CT side, okay, no, it was on the T side, never mind. To do it on the CT side is crazy, right? Like T side, it's a bit more common.
Yeah, you can obviously be the player in that role that can be the trader, the second man in.
Exactly.
And often get those kills. Jerry, he's taking matters into his own hands here. He's peeking down banana. Exactly. A significant stack toward B. And this is actually a strategy that low-key, I've done myself. You stack 4 toward B, 2 peak and 2 hide if they do manage to want to commit onto it. And Jerry's just going aggressive. Now there's a player being baited in on the right-hand side as well. In that cubby, and now, of course, is Shelfie. Surely they don't expect it. Gun swap comes in, pistol swap comes in, and they're still not even checking him. Zorte with one, Shelfie with another. It's brilliant. And Norby gets the last. forZe are outclassing GamerLegion here. That was a setup and a half.
I mean, like, it actually looked really good for GamerLegion because of the stack over on that B side of the map, and GamerLegion were leaning towards middle, and it felt like once that kill came through from Jerry and Banana, I thought GamerLegion were going to say, okay, we just need to force the issue now in towards that A side, but they thought, no, let's rather try retake Banana, but that ended up working out completely against them. They don't realize how many players are still there. They lose all the gunfights. Nice bait and switches being implemented there by forZe as well. Great attention to detail in general. They've got themselves up 12-4. Remember, it It was 5-3 at one stage, Trav. So they've won, what, 7 of the past 8 rounds? It's been domination. They're going to add a 9th here as well.
Exactly. I mean, what did we say when forZe, you know, won those first 5 rounds in very close fashion? We said, okay, well, GamerLegion can win 1 round and close up the score. They did. It got to 5-3. And since then, forZe were like, okay, no more errors. See you later. It's been incredibly impressive.
Yeah, it has been. Look at how aggressive they're being here as well. Now they're just flexing onto GamerLegion.
Oh,
Jerry, with that MP9, he gets himself 3 kills. Going to be racking up some extra cash with that 13-4. forZe keep 5 players alive as we head into the first gun round. And GamerLegion have a mountain to climb.
They do indeed. And the odds, of course, do indicate that. Don't forget, those are the match winner odds for Pinnacle, not the map winner odds. So that's for the entire best of 3. So he's still got a while to go yet. Don't forget, this is forZe's pick for a reason. While with Mirage coming up next is most certainly could be a map that we see a bit more of an even playing field. Problem is, of course, with 1, GamerLegion playing with a stand-in. 2, forZe. Love that map as well. And I've had great results on it recently, especially against Big, for example. So been fantastic. One thing we would say is that Big really haven't been the impressive side that we thought they would be with the addition of Faven recently, but still, it's forZe had to beat what was in front of them, and we all know how talented they are. That's
oh wow,
well, that's one way to get a couple of frags. Maybe that's the way to get back into this game. Just kill them blind, even though somehow gets both. Well, full white. Now I'll push in toward B and try and take advantage of the side.
Check this. Shelfie's taking all the bait right now towards Coffins. That means Zorte can swing out. He's found himself 2 quick kills. He's taken Zello as well. And he can drop a smoke to give himself a bit of room to play with. Even though that Molly's burning him, he's found a 3rd frag in the sequence. Zorte, what are you doing? This was the 5 versus 3. Numerical advantage now favoring forZe all of a sudden. And Shelfie's still making a nuisance of himself here towards Coffins as well. The round has been turned on its head. And GamerLegion just could not afford for this to happen. They can still salvage the situation. Zorte, can he continue to play again? Surely his run is over. And there we go. He'll go down as the Shelfie 0 brings this round back into GamerLegion's contention.
Yeah, it's been swings and roundabouts in this one, back and forth. Now we put ENCE into a 1 versus 2. Player new box, player first oranges. ENCE is 15-7 right now. He's not got the KD of Shelfie, but he's most certainly been the 2nd most impressive player on this team. The grenade would take 0 out if it's spot on. Does he need the quad position? He does have it. Surely he'll realise that maybe a call coming from a teammate. We'll just go straight in for the duel instead. And Isaac with a good win there. With his teammate low, of course. Takes some damage, but stays alive. And GamerLegion with a really impressive recovery there. I was about to say, you know, forZe have really probably confused GamerLegion in that round. Because they got 2 kills, right? Toward B with the blind Immer. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, they're fighting 2 more. You just would not expect 4 on B. You'd expect 1 more perhaps, but not a fight with 2, and that's why Zorte got 3 kills being baited in.
I mean, especially that's why I really liked Shelfie taking the bait, because he knows GamerLegion knows there's at least a 3rd player on the side, because that flash had to have come from somewhere. So he's not trying to play the long game and hide. He's just, you know, actually just trying to take the bait. And the fact that GamerLegion wins that round, even though they push into 4 players on that B bomb side, is very impressive. It must be said. But the round didn't get off to an ideal start with Zorte opening up. However, the trade does come through from the IGL Rusty. He takes Jerry down, his opposite number. And that means it's actually still advantage GamerLegion here in the round.
Yeah, it's been quite often it's been AWP versus AWP and IGL versus IGL. And quite literally, it's panned out that way in the server. Isaac creeping up with the apartments here. Got a player in support directly behind him. That is 0. Player on the balcony, player on the site, player in library as well. Jump in with the flashbang, good find. It clears out short completely, but now it's a tough situation because they can just peek off of each other, and it's a lovely sight hold from forZe. Even Zorte's up toward library gets into the action. 14-5, fantastic stuff. GamerLegion, they had a flashbang prepared for that one, but that was it, and it wasn't enough.
What a beautiful crossfire setup there. It was Kenzie and Shelfie, I believe, on that A side of the map. What a great crossfire. I mean, that just ends up completely shutting GamerLegion down. I mean, good job initially to get Isaac out of apartments, but once he loses his life as well, just, you know, they've got nothing to go off at that point. forZe, even though they did get repelled by that flashbang, they still knew exactly how to respond, what their protocol was. Look at the peek here from Zorte. He is feeling it right now. He's got some big balls, you know, peeking into the opposite sniper. Tag Zello down. And I mean, forZe, they're just in the driver's seat. Doesn't really do them justice. I mean, they're so comfortable right now. They're in complete control of proceedings here on their map pick. And this is a full force from GamerLegion, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. They're even guessing the smoke plays. They're guessing the positions being held. They're even dinking players through walls. Kenzie doing so much damage there, and Zorta even finishing it off with a bit of help there toward mid. It's just too much to cope with right now for GamerLegion. Zello, of course, as we said, already tagged from earlier on. Zorta legging him on that scout. And even scout the AWP is hard enough, let alone when you're 18 points of health. A bit of utility usage toward mid. Will probably delay Zero's peak with the Tech 9 a little while longer. But when Shelfie's here, you're in trouble. The wide swing mid. Can't get the first kill, actually. He hit one bullet toward the behind him. Zello, it would have been a kill. But in the end, some traces are spotted too. And Zello gets the kill. But there's going to be a flank coming in from Banana. And in fact, it's a double flank. So even if Jerry got taken down somehow, which even in that situation wouldn't have happened, he would have had his teammate directly beside him. So 10-round lead, 15-5. forZe doing what we expected of them.
I mean, Trav, this is just complete domination right now. When forZe are even turning up the gas and turning up the heat on GamerLegion, you know, they started off from the beginning playing some disciplined, respectful Counter-Strike, but now they're just straight up flexing on GamerLegion at every opportunity that they get, you know, playing aggressively towards middle, around the fringes of the smokes, against the pistols, not afraid to get into the faces of the four-stop weapons, you know, just pushing down Banana, and just making plays left, right, and center. Zorte, he continues to find these opening picks in the round here with the AWP as well. I highlighted how successful he is with those opening picks for forZe, and he's well, displaying that in leaps and bounds right now as well.
Oh, just every single position that forZe is holding, right, just absolutely like reeks of confidence. Like the pushes, the fact they're playing behind smokes, the fact that they know that GamerLegion have a low buy, it's just nightmarish for GamerLegion. But exactly, it was 5-3, and it's about to be 16-5 unless Zello can pull up a 1v5 with a scout, and that's not going to happen. They're running in, and Shelfie takes him down. Who else? It's a fantastic first map for forZe. They'll be delighted with that one, and it's exactly what we expected of them as well. There were some happy faces on the forZe side, you can tell that, and they deserve it. They deserve to be happy. Shelfie having a wonderful time there, looking very happy indeed. And now we're going to go into map 2, Hayes, which is Mirage, which is, sure, GamerLegion's pick, but forZe love that map as well, so it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it certainly is. We saw Kenzie there sitting next to his twin brother, just imitating each other's movements and all the rest, you know. Zorta there, the sniper as well, looking very clean, nice setup there. I mean, that's neat and tidy, right? So there we go, guys. First map done and dusted. We are going to be taking a short break. When we return, it's going to be Mirage, the pick of GamerLegion. They need to fight back if they're going to stand a chance of stamping their ticket into that grand final, because if they can't, it's going to be 2-0 to forZe.
Welcome back to forZe versus GamerLegion. forZe have shown why they are the form team in map 1. Can they keep it going against GamerLegion, who've only lost 2 of their last 13 Mirages? Problem is, forZe love this map as well and have won their last 5. Something has to give.
Something does have to give, and if it's not GamerLegion that's able to make it work here, Trav, then their run in the Pinnacle Winter Series will come to an end, and it will be forZe who go up against ENCE in the grand final, but it's looking like they're getting this pistol round off to a nice start. Oh, Norby, that's just disgusting. He hangs around after being dinked down, and he takes down his Transgressor to bring it back into a 4v4.
Yes, lucky to get away with that one, but Zello obviously realised that he headshot him, was like, okay, well, I'm going to go in for this one. Well, I'll tell you what else they're going in for. A B play. Isaac will be with Norby in the end. Low HP player gone, but they are not checking Kenzie toward Van. Rossi does a double take. And that will force Kenzie to pull out the shots, but he only gets the one. Shelfie's here, though, and we know what he's capable of. Gets the first 2v2. And he's wary of Market as well, and he has every right to be at the moment. There's one player coming in from the flank as well for Jerry, and he's spotted. Good jump across, and there's a good amount of damage to both these two CTs. And I think they've recovered the situation. Good stuff from GamerLegion. Shelfie, 2 HP. Surely this is beyond him.
Yeah, this should be next to impossible. I mean, he might even just consider saving here. I don't know if there's a kid for him to retrieve on his way. I think he's just going to call it a day. 2 points of health with 2 opponents to go up against. He's not going to be standing any chance in that equation. So GamerLegion, they get their campaign off to the best possible start on their map pick by winning the pistol round on the T side, but obviously a long way to go. But Trav, the thing is, right, is it's not like there's that much to get inspired about or excited from that first map if you're, in the GamerLegion supporters camp. It was very one-sided, right? It was 5-3 at one stage, and then the map ended 16-5 in favor of forZe. So GamerLegion are going to have to show a completely different complexion here on Mirage if they're going to stand a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I did mention, obviously, the statistics in my little intro there, which, are all, obviously, have to take into consideration that is, mostly GamerLegion playing with the Era and not Zello, so sure. But what I will say is also these Mirages have been very, very close. 16-13, 16-14, 16-13, 16-14, 16-11. They've been very close, so they know how to win the close games, but I think today maybe it'd be a little bit too beyond them. And what I will mention, of course, with forZe as well, is that in all 5 of their previous matches in this very event, they did play Mirage, and the closest they got to losing it was a 16-10. We spoke about that beforehand, didn't we? About that, how they did not lose more than 10 rounds in any of their last 5 best of 3s. So it shows that these guys are most certainly a force to be reckoned with on Mirage. And it's one of their main maps right now as well, alongside Inferno, to be fair. And that's why they're a bit scary at the moment.
Absolutely. It does look like GamerLegion have got everything going for them in the round that they need here. Going to be executing straight into this B-bomb side. It's only Norway who lies in wait right now. Everybody else for forZe is on the complete opposite side of the map. So probably see that situation where if Norby doesn't really give them anything to retake into, they'll just save with the stack over on A right now. Norby's going to need at least 2 kills here to keep them interested in the round.
Yeah, that's not easy from this angle when you've got probably a jumping Mac 10, and there we go. He does leap across the angle. And then aggress toward the close market position. We'll show some presence and actually go for the duel towards Zello. Now, he's going to be okay. Shelfie's Hamas has been spotted in connector, and I think he hears the tags. Onto him there. Sometimes you can hear the bullets. And he will go through and get himself that opening kill. He'll drop the gun to a teammate and recover the AK. And that'll probably be a very powerful save, actually, as you said.
Yeah.
Into the next round.
This is going to give them a lot to work with, especially if Norby can stay alive here as well. Just maintain his Desert Eagle and armor to take into that B-bomb side. They're going to have that AK to play around. Shelfie's dropped that FAMAS across. Like that's next round. There's going to be some potential pitfalls for GamerLegion. However, they do still keep 4 players alive and get across the line. So they'll still take that result. Ultimately, they win the round with numbers, and that's what matters here for them. So they go up 2-0, and they have gotten off to a nice start here. So, I mean, Trav, do you expect this to go to a third? Because I'm still kind of in the 2-0 camp here.
Yeah, I'm in the 2-0 camp as well. I'd like it to go to a third. I think
Sure,
Ancient would be great. Because I think both these teams do play it, from memory.
They do, but the problem is the standard,
play this
right?
map. Yeah, of course. That's everything. Every time we have to consider that, but still, both teams historically do play the map and have semi-decent records on it. So as a decider map, I think that would be great. But for GamerLegion, they have to worry about this round next because, to be honest, the force buy in the previous is not as good as this one because they've got a free AK this time. So this is almost as powerful, if not more. And Shelfie already go for his opening duel, and we know how good he is at that. Put the AK in his hands, he'll be a confident man. He'll get that first kill as well. And with him already tagged down to 28, GamerLegion, you could say, honestly, in this situation, are on the back foot in this round already.
Yeah, they look to just keep things as simple as they possibly could. They're taking contact in towards apartments, but they end up losing that fight, and Eames been tagged. Now they look to try and get some control towards Connector, but they just lost another player out. Finally, Zello swinging out will be the difference maker. 2 kills on the spray down, but he can't clock out just yet. And look at Shelfie's position. Fiendish angle being taken up here as he completes the kill on the spray down. Zero hasn't fired a bullet or thrown a piece of util, and he's got himself a 1 versus 3 clutch to have a crack at.
Yeah, he'll go for this one, but I think he will also be aware that he has full utility and an AK to play with here, so interesting to see what he does.
Oh wow, nearly actually gets that kill into Shelfie. He needed that frag immediately though, because forZe actually taking some time to rotate their way through, and Jerry, the first responder on the scene, gets himself in position just in time. forZe have won what hypothetically is an eco round because they saved their cash. So let me call it a save round, because if you call it an eco, it implies that they didn't invest in it.
Didn't have anything,
They did have an investment. So it was a save round, but they did have a number of pieces to work with. But it still wasn't like an easy save round, right? They had to get innovative, and I really like how they approached that.
Yeah, it was a really good approach, as you say. I mean, Shelfie, the one with the AK, just going aggressive off the back of it, and they had a really good setup for that, even getting invaded for that final kill as well. I mean, it just feels like Shelfie is in the roles which make him the star, but he's also delivering every single time, right? Like, it's really fantastic to watch. Long range spray coming in from Isaac, and he just about gets his kill. Yeah, toward Kenzie, and as you say, a bit of a surprising reface, I would say. That situation, probably realizing that he's been tagged down so low, but he's won his duel and he can drop his AK to a healthier teammate now, so all good.
Does look like they're just going to gravitate in towards the A side of the map here after finding that opening pick in middle. They've got a number of flashes and just the 1 smoke grenade, so I wonder if we see a CT smoke and then try and get the bomb plant on default. Either way, it's only Zorte who's here right now, and he's kind of just peeking out on the timing. He's not seeing anybody at A ramp right now. This is a lot of false information for Zorte, who thinks he's safe on this A site, but little does he know there's actually an imminent danger coming through, and in fact, yeah, okay, this is going to be a better position taken up by him here towards CT.
Let's take it all the way around, and he's going to be here back in good time, but he's going to be aware there's going to be a player out toward ramp. That's going to be a hard shot to hit, and Isaac on the low HP hits a shot with a deagle. So there we go. 5v3 to play with. Norvi is here, but there's a flash coming in toward Connector, and they do have 1 smoke for a plant to make it a safe one. So you'd hope Zero will deploy that into a smart position. It will now go in toward top con. It will give Jerry a chance to fire off from long range, but Zello, coming in from Connector in the back, will tag down Norvi, and well, look at that. Rusty finding Jerry as well. He's all Shelfie, and I think maybe even this one is beyond him, despite the fact there are 3 players low HP.
Yeah, he's just going to look to take the AK into the next round. Very well worked round there by GamerLegion, all things considered. They found that opening pick towards Kenzie at the bottom of Connector, and it's not like they tried to overplay their hand. Shelfie, that is not the spray we've gotten used to seeing out of my good friend. And he's probably going to lose his life here, which is about how many he can take to the grave with him, and the answer is going to be 2. But like I said, I mean, I like that round from GamerLegion and the way that they went about their business, initially taking contact in Connector, getting that kill, and recognizing they still had a deficiency in weaponry, right? And not too much util to work with either. So they just rotate all the way back through spawn, they walk their way out of ramp, they set up in angles, they get themselves in position, and then they still just, they employ further patience there. And eventually they get the picks as the fights come through. Big miss shot there from Zorte, set things in motion at CT, it must be said. And GamerLegion win their 4 spikes, so they get back on the horse.
Exactly. And, that is critically important as well, considering the money that forZe got from obviously winning that buy where they didn't really invest much after that saved anti-force buy. So, or saved force buy, I should say. Of course, though, Shelfie is here with the AWP now. They didn't manage to afford that, of course, into the next round, and they have a double AWP in this round too. Now Shelfie will be spotted. The hop behind the angle will be lucky, as you possibly would expect Shelfie to get that one. We don't necessarily associate Shelfie with AWPing, but we're back in for more. Zello's on the angle, and he's going to feel aggrieved that that kill did not go his way. Shelfie tagged down, but Zello is down himself completely. They do want to aggress further, though. Isaac's still here, and that's a surprising push, actually.
Oh, my.
But I'm liking it, and this grenade could do more damage, and there we go. That takes Kenzie out the round. This is a textbook push from Isaac so far, because look where the bomb's going. It's not even going B.
I don't know, man, Rusty is going to be able to completely fake. It looks like Jerry's got an idea that this could be right now. It's all about the timing. And now he's going to be actually making his way all the way through towards CT because unfortunately, Isaac's gone ice cold there over on that B-bomb side of the map. So Rusty and Zero in the meantime going to be taking A, but look at what a great position Rusty is in right now. Jerry swings out wide, but he just gets ultimately destroyed. And it's actually GamerLegion have complete control now, especially because of Isaac can come through with this flank, right? But Zorte, he stands in the molly, drops the player on the cross. Norby nearly gets a player at range as well, but finally, Isaac's going to be able to have his impact here on the flank.
This is doable. If he was there a bit sooner, maybe we would have seen the wall bang through default, which of course we saw forZe do famously the other day. But Isaac's flank, as you say, unfortunately, not going to work out. He's made a lot of noise, and actually is a bit too much noise. Zorte will just deal with him easily, and now they can go aggressive toward his position. Rusty 1v2 gets the first, and he will deal with the second nicely. That's great stuff from Rusty under a bit of pressure there. Can recover the AWP for free as well. And GamerLegion up to 4, and that will finally force forZe down to an eco.
Oh man, I mean that was yeah, touch and go, but nerve-wracking at one point there. But especially when Isaac misses his shots at range from Catwalk, I was getting a little bit nervous. But in the end, Rusty in the 1 versus 2 is able to lock it down. Very cool, calm, and composed there on default in the clutch. It's a fantastic job, and it means that GamerLegion will be breaking forZe's economy. Are going to have to take an eco here. So GamerLegion, they're the ones who are showing depth now. They're the ones who are showing that even when they lose the opening pick in the round or they lose a bit of control or ground, they're still actually able to make some plays in the round. Let's see if that's going to be the case here once again.
Oh, uh-oh, Jerry with the Deagle gets another one. With the CZ pick coming in already, it makes it a little bit scary. And Kenzie even tapping away long range with that CZ. Surely gets the kill towards Zero with the picked up Mac 10, and he does. So now another clutch has to come through for Isaac. It's the first once again. And now he's favoured with Norby, no gun recovered, only P250, no armour. This is going to be very, very difficult to win. Thankfully, Isaac is 1 headshot away from going down. If that P250 does get into position, and I think he knows where Isaac's playing from, but unfortunately, oh, he does get it! Great stuff from Norby. I was about to say, I'm pretty sure that Isaac's going to be looking at the angle. In the end, Norby gets the frag, and I mentioned if he hits 1 P250 headshot, he wins the round, and as it happens, that is exactly what goes down. Great stuff, and forZe once again hit back.
It seemed like forZe were destined to lose that round, even though they were doing damage and they were getting kills. It just felt like GamerLegion were going to have one of those rounds where they, won the clutch at the end or something like that, just to shut it down. And it's a round that you ultimately end up forgetting. But no, Norby wins the 1v1 with the P250 and nothing else. What a sick eco round coming through from the CT side. So they've essentially won 2 saves now. One a lot more impressive than the other, it must be said.
Yeah.
And they've broken GamerLegion's economy as a result as well. I really like forZe's approach in that round as well, taking the fight to GamerLegion there towards ramp, getting that initial pick. Kenzie swinging out in middle, getting that frag with the CZ, and then also, fighting them in Palace. They didn't let them regain control of the round or get that structure in place. They just kept like death by 1,000 paper cuts type of thing. They just kept snapping at them every opportunity they got.
Yeah, the CZ obviously getting the first made it handy, and I think at the end of the day, right, they wouldn't have had a 1v2 if that frag hadn't have come in, because that was the trading player who picked up the Mac 10 who eventually finished off Zorta. So yeah, it was a critical frag when it comes to the end of that round. Shelfie is just waiting for the Deagle push to come in to throw his grenade, and actually going to have really good timing on this one, I feel like. There we go. We'll force them away. Well, him and Rusty were looking to advance. Don't forget, though, the beginnings of this half have been winning ecos for both teams, winning low buys for both teams. So, at the moment, who knows what could happen? GamerLegion could easily nab this one again with a couple of tasty 1-digs. Who knows? But this does give forZe a chance to pull away, and we all know that, especially with the fact that they have some money built up on Zorta as well, and him being the AWPer makes that even more handy.
Look at the respect coming through here from forZe. Not overextending or taking any unnecessary fights. Playing from behind right now, they realize how important it is. Oh, Jerry actually lucky that looks like Zero was a bit slow to respond there with the trigger. Either way, nice and clean anti-eco, squeaky clean anti-eco. Okay, not squeaky clean anymore. Eden does get a frag, but 4 players staying alive for forZe. Yeah, it's clean enough. They'll take it. One round that separates these 2 teams now, as forZe looking to level up the playing field.
Indeed. It's clean, but I think squeaky clean is it's a bit more smooth. It's a smoothie clean. It's a smoothie clean, not a squeaky clean. It's fine.
Won't go that far.
Yeah, it's a very fascinating start to this game, I have to say. I mean, we've already had a few very interesting rounds, of course, with Isaac, that flank that in the end didn't come to pass on that round where he just went toward B on his own, and in the end the clutch did come through, sorry, for Rusty. So yeah, we're seeing a different look as well in this round. Shalfie just going super aggressive toward under alongside Jerry. His team's play coming in, and once again, even Jerry somehow getting another one. They return from underpass, and again, Zero unfortunately just going to wander out of A ramp alone. So even though Isaac has control of market in its entirety and will probably push in towards CT spawn, at the moment there's nothing to go for him.
Yeah, what a comedic round playing out right now. Just the fact that, as you say, Isaac's pushed all the way into market. There's all those crazy fights going on in the middle. The double drop into lowers, get the first kill, and then they rotate and they get Eam as well. It looked like he almost got caught off guard from the peak from lowers. And, well, it does look like Zello is going to be trying to use Isaac's position over in market to rotate that bomb across, but forZe seem to have a really good read on this right now. I don't know if they're stacked in lowers or ladder. Might even be both. There's definitely a player coming through from lowers right now, and there we go. Thank you, Observer Migsy, looking out for us with some fantastic angles. We can see exactly how forZe are set up on that side of the map, and they'll even have the perfect timing on the flank here as well.
This timing does look good. Kenzie, look to your left. You got a free kill. I think he spots Zello, which means he can reface, but he's too ready for that one. And Kenzie gets both kills. And it was Kenzie and Shelfie in map 1 doing most of the mad fragging. And I'll tell you what, look at the scoreboard right now. Kenzie 8 and Shelfie 10. These guys do not let up. They're insane. And unfortunately, once again, for GamerLegion, they've been forced down to probably a full eco coming in here. So you'd expect forZe to retake the lead. And once again, I'll reiterate for maybe some people who are just joining and seeing the scoreline and wondering why forZe are looking so good in this series. Well, they've won their last 5 best of 3s 2-0. And as we mentioned beforehand, every single Mirage they've played, they haven't lost more than 10 rounds in those. Yo. So, I tell you what, I mean, it's hard.
I feel like they probably picked Mirage in nearly all of those series as well, by the way.
Yeah.
They didn't even have to pick Mirage.
Just so happens GamerLegion like this map.
Yeah. Does look like forZe should be getting themselves the lead here. This was 3-0 and then 4-1. So a nice little sequence coming through from forZe as they start to wake up on the CT side and build themselves a bit of a platform. We saw they won the first half 11-4 in Inferno, and they just won the map 16-5 from there. And we did expect them to be the favorites coming into the series before we even knew Zello was standing in for error. You just look at the recent results. forZe are just on a tear, beating every tier 3 and seemingly every tier 2 team that they come across right now as well. So really tough team to fight up against with the form that they're in.
Yeah, and some might consider big a tier 1.5 team, as you said earlier, right?
Sure.
Sort of halfway between
at
the very top of the game and sort of just above tier 2. So big, struggling a little bit as of late, but forZe took advantage of it. And now they're going to try and run down Kenzie and Connector. They're actually successful with it. So with a nice kill. 2v4 though, and unfortunately Shalfie's towards shot once again, eating up the ecos. Jerry gets one, Zorta gets another. 2 for Jerry. 2 for Zorta. And that does mean that it's forZe taking the lead, as we suspected. A reminder that you can scroll down and click the banners below the stream.
Yes.
And join in with some of our partners, of course. Extrafy, Skin Baron, plenty of others available. Of course, you can use the code as you saw on screen just there for Skin Baron. Of course, there's a 10% off code of Winter10 for Extrafy as well. So get yourself involved with those.
You like fantasy? We got you covered there with World of Esports. Make sure to check that out. Stream cards that lets you interact with the game while you're watching. We got you covered with all our fantastic partners, as we do have we see whether forZe have control towards middle or not, and it does look to be the case with Zorte finding that opening pick with the AWP, peering above the smoke. He draws first blood. GamerLegion are going to have to get the round done without Isaac.
Already using that smoke to his advantage. I don't know how many millions of picks have come through over the top of that connector smoke over the years of Mirage. And already, Shalfie with a nice off-angling window on top of the brick, so he can just jump straight into ladder room. Gets out of there. He might even go for a duel towards Zello as well. He's feeling confident enough to do that, and with flash help as well from the A site, it's very possible indeed. A smoke will keep him at bay for now, though. Grenade toward mid. Zello, of course, looks away from the HE grenade, because that's just what every Counter-Strike player does. and they will be making their way close to connected. Another flash could come in here for Jerry, and it will do. And look at this. There's just so many flashes. How many were there flashes were used toward mid? I think 6 total?
At least, yeah. So many flashes. Fantastic utility usage coming through from forZe, who have only finally now taken some damage, as Rusty's going to get a kill on the round and go down immediately afterwards. The economic game is starting to build up in an exponential rate here for forZe on the CT side, as their rounds are accruing at a rate of knots as well. 5 consecutive in 6 of the past 7 means they've got themselves up 6-4 here on the CT side. And it's precarious, Trav, because we've seen what's happened when forZe have had the momentum already in the series. GamerLegion haven't been able to stop them. So this is not looking good. And you know what I will say is I think Air is actually a really big playmaker on the side of GamerLegion. And not to say that Zelo isn't, but it's just like he brings something different as an AWPer, right? And it means that GamerLegion systems and protocols are going to be out of balance playing with the stand-in. And against a team like forZe, that's just going to be so difficult to be competitive, man.
Exactly. It's a hard situation for them, of course. No doubt about it. If there was anyone you'd want to call on, I would say, Zelo's a good find, but at the end of the day, forZe, as you said a couple of rounds ago, were the favourites coming into this one anyway, so it was going to be a hard deal for GamerLegion. They've been the team that have been consistent as of late. GamerLegion, while they've been performing well in this event, they have not necessarily had consistent results elsewhere as well. Norvi, it's one on the anti-pistol rush. Well, at least managed to take down the raid boss, it feels like, Shalfie. At least that's one player dealt with. And that's always in a bit of a tough spot, actually, because Rusty's recovered the AK, and it's going very nicely, actually.
Yes.
Imitating Kenzie. Nice double picks coming in. This round's still doable in a 2v3.
I mean, it is, but GamerLegion have got themselves in a fantastic position. That Molly, they're going to be displacing 2 players from default. Can the AWP find either of them? It's Jerry peering above the smoke, and yes, he gets a kill, but he's still got so much work to do. Unfortunately, that Molly has expired, so it's not going to be in position to, pop the smoke straight on the bomb, which means Jerry doesn't have that luxury. Going to be forcing the player to peek out. He's running out of ammo. Only 5 bullets left in the magazine, enough to get that first kill. Good repositioning coming through from Rusty, and he's just playing with the time. Jerry doesn't have any of it left remaining, and while he gets the kill, the round is over.
Nice try. And yeah, that's actually a really, really good point. As you say, I mean, in the end, the fact that smoke, as you say, doesn't pop onto the Molotov just as it dissipates is a problem, but it also probably helped Jerry get that frag on toward Imma coming out of balcony. So yeah, exactly. It was like it inadvertently went in his favour. But at the end of the day, as you say, out of bullets, and although he did take down Rusty, Rusty played the time there very, very well. And that's actually 2 rounds that Rusty just won on his own, basically, for his team. Great pistol rush. Good teamwork once they get onto the site, especially. And it keeps GamerLegion in touch.
Yeah, it certainly does keep them in touch. That's something that they weren't really able to do on Inferno, was win a round to break that momentum from forZe. But the problem is here, Trav, is they can't just win 1 round on the T side and expect to kind of be back in a position of a stronghold here on the map. They need to win a few. Look at forZe's economy. They've still got so much cash on a couple of their individuals. So they'll definitely be able to afford another buy after this round if they lose here. So yeah, still work to be done for GamerLegion. Can they make it happen is the question. I fear the worst for them if this goes down 10-5 on the half.
I would agree with that as well. They need to make sure they build up a run of rounds. Of course, as we said, Rusty won the round by playing the time down there as he did in that previous, but he was the only player to survive, so the economy is not in a good stead, whereas forZe built up a lot for the last few rounds. Zorta still with Nears makes no difference, 7,000, and Norvi on the AWP level price of 4,750. Oh, this could be interesting. Oh, that's just a guess. Did you see him? There's no smoke in the kill feed.
I don't know if it's by design. Maybe a slight one-way there. Tiny gap to peer through, but Norby draws first blood. That's going to be prompting GamerLegion to try and force the issue, but the problem is they haven't been able to get out the site. Shelfie's in position. Kenzie's rotating through. Yeah. He might not even be needed, though. forZe are just cleaning up on this defense on the B-bomb side, and not only that, but they make it look easy.
They do indeed. Zorta taking down Im, and Norvi will even peek from ban as well to deal with Zelo, and that's a clean round. Yeah, all 5 players alive. GamerLegion are on pistols again. We might have a hero Galil or AK on Rusty on this round or something along those lines, but other than that, I don't think they're going to be investing much. And there we go, we see it come through.
Feels like their T side's been flat, Trav. Maybe it's because they're lacking error right now. It just feels like they've been playing like contact plays, fast contacts, trying to find fights on the extremities of the site. Not much like detail in with the strategies, not much finesse, not many layers. It's like keeping it simple, and maybe that is because of the stand-in, but either way, going to be 2 offers towards middle. Shelfie, well, he landed the jump, decided to fall off, and, well, he's not going to be having any further impact in this round.
Yeah, at least Zello has the AK recovered, so at least that means the gun is still in play. Easy. Oh, okay, there we go. I was about to say, Jerry can get caught off here, and Im's going to go for the aggressive peek towards short on the AWP. That could have most certainly worked out for him and given his team an advantage, but unfortunately, the last players toward A, only a Deagle and the AK without Kevlar. It's going to be difficult. There's a player picking up though, and Zorta could get caught off here. They're going very aggressive, and there we go. Isaac does catch him off looking the wrong way. Timing quite considerably there is Zorta.
Oh,
range coming from Norway. Needs this frag. Zello's playing a very tight angle though, and a very smart angle to make it hard for Norway to find him. Now it's all down to kenzie. A very, very winnable 1 versus 2. That's a very well-placed smoke as well. You have to right-click a smoke of his own and a flash to get through it. And aggress further toward the site. He has a gap through the bench. Bomb not planted yet, of course. Zello doesn't feel comfortable going for it as of yet. 40 seconds to go. They don't need to rush. Makes sense not to just rush into a plant here. kenzie has a good line. And very healthy indeed as well to go for this one.
Yeah, the thing is, if he forces it, he's going to walk straight into the crossfire. Is he concerned that they might be going B here? I mean, just by how patient GamerLegion have been, unfortunately, kenzie saw himself down the river. Just that little seed of doubt in the back of his mind, and it's taken full control. He might even commit to the savior once he gets the information. I'd be surprised if he did, because they can full afford, and he's got a kit. So I reckon having a crack at this clutch is actually worth it right now if you're kenzie.
Yeah.
It does look like he's going to go for it. So let's see if he can make this happen.
He's not miles away, right? Like, he did rotate around to market to be able to hit the bomb, and actually Isaac can go hunting for him.
Oh, no,
it's a whiffy spray. It's a whiffy spray. That's a shame.
Plan. Yeah.
Yeah. Incredible. Isaac gets the kill, and once again,
waiting because he was so patient, right, for that.
He was. That's wild. You would have thought that kill would have come through, and as it is, well, look at the top of the screen. We had that one run of forZe 5 rounds in a row, but other than that, there have been so many force buys in response and unlikely round wins that wouldn't necessarily see come through statistically. So it keeps the game close, which is good for GamerLegion. Still only 1 round of difference, and it feels like forZe have been the dominating team, right? So it's great for them.
Yeah, absolutely. GamerLegion doing here on Mirage what they weren't able to do on Inferno, and that's win rounds back to make sure forZe don't continue their snowball. They've been able to just keep forZe at an arm's length here. Zorta in towards low is going to get double peeked. He's able to find the first, surely gets traded out immediately afterwards here by Isaac. Oh, Zorta. That's just nasty, the fact that he finds that second kill, completely isolated and left to his own devices. He implements maximum pain on GamerLegion.
And once again, we're seeing the same pattern, aren't we? We've seen GamerLegion win an unlikely round and, well, not be able to continue the run, I'm afraid. Unless they can somehow win a 3v5. Zello, low HP. It's not looking very likely at the moment. And don't forget, this is the second semi-final. The winner goes through to play ENCE in the grand final directly after this game. So it will be pretty exciting to see whoever. I imagine if it's forZe versus ENCE, that's actually a really good matchup. With ENCE, of course, one of the invited teams looking on good form with forZe on this streak. At the moment, of course, the game's not over as of yet. kenzie swings from window, only gets the 1. Good trade from 0. Now Zorta has some work to do from Ticket. Spotted 1, perhaps.
Oh, wow.
Fall back toward connector, and as you say, that could be problematic, but unfortunately, 0 does not hear Jerry quick enough. Now it's all down to him. What can he do about this one? Gets the first, and he knows where Jerry is positioning himself. Unfortunately, it's the biggest crossfire in all of human history with a player in window. Of course, you can't just 180 and spin on the top and kill both players. That's just not going to happen. And forZe will confirm their lead on the half.
Shelfie knew exactly what his role was there required with this IGL taking contact towards the top of middle. He heard the footsteps coming through there from the T player as well. Immediately just swings out after the information comes through, gets that kill. forZe go up 8-6 here. They've got almost a golden opportunity to make this a 9-6 halftime scoreline as well when you see the weapons that GamerLegion have at their disposal. However, based on the way that this game has gone so far, it's not a foregone conclusion that forZe will be winning this round. However, their chances have increased now with Zorta finding that opening pick once again.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen GamerLegion win a round with just pistols as they rush toward B with nice timing. Unfortunately, Mac 10 and Tech9 once again on this round. Be hard to deal with, and kenzie's getting the smoke nicely, just as it fades as well. That does spook Immer, and unfortunately does mean he goes down. A grenade in response doesn't do too much damage, so it's going to be okay before to win this round. And look at Shelfie going aggressive once again. He's only died 5 times in this game. It feels like we always speak about that, but his KDs are so good. If you go down here though, and does actually, the close range Tech 9, of course. One hit headshot from that close up. But Shalfie will be shocked by that one. They'll be a little bit too comfortable and confident on that push.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen forZe's confidence tend to increase with their leads that they have. There's definitely a direct correlation going on there.
Yeah.
We saw that on Inferno for sure. Maybe gives GamerLegion a way back into the round. Yeah, what's up?
And sometimes get the better of them as well.
Yeah, 100%. That's why you need to make sure you maintain that discipline. It can be difficult. Defying human nature. kenZe, he'll be getting another kill. And that really just solidifies forZe's position in the round. Zero desperately trying to play around the smoke, but it should be telegraphed here. When you see the smoke come out of Palace, you know that there's going to be some sort of fiendish play coming out, and it's looking like an easy conversion for forZe. They go up 9-6. Trav, they're just 7 rounds away from booking their ticket in that grand final against ENCE after this match.
Indeed, and it's a pretty good half in the end. I'll be disappointed at some of the rounds they lost, and they probably would have be saying to themselves, okay, well, after the match, let's look at the demo and find how this should have been an 11-4 to us, because it probably should have been. The rounds they lost to those pistols were a little bit unfortunate, but they do get away with it, with a 3-round lead at least. But of course, T-side, now they go on to. It'll be not beyond the realms of possibility that GamerLegion could build up a run here now on the CT side.
Sure.
So let's see how it goes.
Interesting strategy coming through here from forZe. We're going to see the waterfall out of Palace. There are 2 smokes in play as well. That's going to be jungle and stairs coming through. Flashes over the top, and then a CT take will be the name of the game. It's Zero with the USP, who's tasked with trying to keep them at bay. He's taking fights as well at range. He gets a kill. Does he get traded out? Yes. Norby forcing the issue, finds that frag, and gets it back into an even numbers game.
Yeah, they hit a huge amount of aggression from GamerLegion on this pistol round. They push 2 toward the B apartments. There's got 1 coming on the big flank, and actually, as you saw on the minimap right there, Ima just wins that duel toward Jerry as Jerry checks that big flank. But he needs to win 1 more. Zorta on the angle, and it seems to have laid the time down quite a lot. And look at the fights being won right now by kenZe and Norby. It's all down to Zorta now. If he wins this duel, 1 more bullet needed, and he gets it. And in the end, kenZe finishes it off as well. forZe, double digits you get double digits first. A nice pistol round victory for them. And even with that aggression from GamerLegion and that setup playing retake as they did, looked like it went off to a good start, but those after plant positions are sometimes just too hard to deal with when you do have those Glocks jumping at you.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, fantastic pistol round from forZe. Did get a bit dicey there, but sketchy at one stage. But as we've seen so many times in the series alone, they've been able to still navigate their way through those precarious rounds. They get themselves up 10-6 now, just 6 rounds away. In and amongst there, a couple of anti-force buys and anti-ecos as well. So they're on a prime course right now to take the series 2-0 and eliminate GamerLegion. Would be so unfortunate for the Swedish squad here as well, Trav. When you think about the fact that they fought so hard to get into the semi-final in the playoff of the Pinnacle Winter Series, you know, to have to use a stand-in and not get to live up to their full potential, just heartbreaking for any team, right?
Yeah, 2-2-1s. You're absolutely right. I believe against Eternal Fire and Godsent. Against Godsent yesterday was very difficult. They only managed to find their way through in a map 3 decide. I think Godsent took map 2 like 16-4 in that one. I'm pretty sure actually Godsent were playing from Katowice, by the way, because we saw Taco and some of his teammates in the crowd for the game like a couple of hours later. So I doubt they probably would have got there that quickly. So that's kind of an interesting little factor there. But cool. Yeah.
It's next to Taco, like, you know, you just get your seats and you walk down the aisle like you're at the movies or something with your popcorn and your drink. And then you just see Taco and the boys sitting there. That'd be pretty cool.
Indeed. And what was your thoughts on this one, Hayes, right? So, Zello, of course, we've been over this multiple times, standing in for Ira, who's unwell today. You would say that once the first buy comes in here, probably it's much easier for him to plug and play on the CT side, right, than the T side. Yes. So we saw him do great work on the CT side of Inferno. If we get a chance to see him build up a couple of chances on the CT side here, we could still have a close game. That's the hope I'm having. It should be a clean coming in here from forZe still.
I think that's a good hope. I think it's a good expectation. I think it's fair enough as well. You know, in general, when you're standing in, you're going to have an easier time of it on the CT side. Like you said, your roles are a lot more defined and a lot more consistent throughout the half as well. The only thing I will say is I expect him to obviously playing towards snipers in middle. And I think he might have a bit of a different tendency for GamerLegion. I know he loves to be aggressive. He loves to re-peek. He loves to fight. And while Aero does as well, I think Zello's even more extreme in that regard. So I wonder if he'll be able to, you know, work with the system. And there is still quite a lot of comms required with playing middle, right? You know, communicating with the catwalk player, communicating with the connector player. So that might come through to impact them as well. You know, maybe they decide to put him in a more static role, like an A anchor role or something like that. That could still work for Zello too. So I'm interested to see how they use them on the CT side.
Yep. we get our normal scoreline that we often see in these matches of 12-6. And the pistol conversion comes in. And the 3-0 pistol conversion comes in, especially. And Shelfie up to 18-7. This guy doesn't stop. Another good start to the half for him. And he's going to be using this little one-way smoke in the underpass position to try and get himself an opening pick. Zero going aggressive as well behind the Molotov. It can be quite hard to see a player underneath that Molotov, but unfortunately he shoulder picks a little bit too wide. And Zorta takes him down quite comfortably. So 4v4 recovered. Emma looking to go aggressive for more. I think he knows that Kenzie's top mid, but a big swing comes in. Thankfully dealt with, and actually Emma didn't even take a point of damage to that duel, I believe. And there is the aforementioned Zello dealing with Jerry. So 4v2 should be a round win for GamerLegion here, unless something goes horribly wrong.
I'm interested to see how forZe go about their business right now, considering both the players are going to be coming through from Palace because they've got smoke. So I actually kind of thought they'd be going back to ramp here and throwing some util and then executing into A essentially. Because coming out of Palace, like this is almost going to be lambs to the slaughter type of stuff. Zello, whoa, actually kind of has a shot baited out there, but he has the information that both of those players are now in Palace. So GamerLegion can respond accordingly.
Yeah, there'll be flashes to come in, but they're easily dodged. And with the amount of numbers they have here, it should be pretty impossible for forZe. So they might even choose to save here.
They could.
And it wouldn't be a bad choice because they have the AWP up, they have the AK up, they have utility up still as well. So they can even drop, even though they don't need to. So yeah, it should be a pretty comfortable choice for them to go for the save here. You never like to see a save on T side, but it's a good opportunity to do so here.
Yeah, especially considering that the AWP is in the mix here for Zorte as well. Lots of net worth to take into this next round between himself and Shelfie. But GamerLegion, well, they achieved the all-important objective of winning this big gun round, right? The first gun round of the second half. If they lost this gun round, 13-6 probably becomes 14-6. And at that stage, we see forZe just running away with proceedings. But no, GamerLegion do enough to keep themselves in the hunt here on Mirage. Still a lot of work to be done, but
yeah,
they keep forZe in check.
Well, I will say, just looking at this forZe performance, especially, we've been raving about Shelfie, but look at the kills right now: 18, 18, 18, 16. That's a team performance in a half from forZe. That is so good. And actually, just to give you a bit more depth on that one, just had a check on HLTV. Shelfie has 92 ADR, Zorta has 100, and Kenzie has 98, and Jerry has 86. So like, the ADR sometimes tell the tale, and this time it tells the tale of 4 players putting in incredibly consistent performances.
The stats represent the truth, Travis.
Yeah.
Like that. Like that a lot. forZe expend, well, not even all their cash to buy up in this round. And we're going to be seeing some sort of an A split coming through here. Keen to see how they actually bring those 2 players into this strategy. Stock standard smokes right now. So I guess the point is take all the attention, or as much attention as you can, towards the A side of the map with these 3 players, and then hope the 2 players elsewhere can have an impact there as well. But it's GamerLegion having the impact on the A side of the map right now, looking to deploy smokes of their own. They're not keen to play retake. And they will be able to get the initial frags. Isaac, oh, that was such a big kill there to get onto Zorte.
Yeah, if I was going to say, like, Zorta jumping out alone toward B there, it's not going to really work out for you many opportunities, especially when you have Isaac playing that angle. That's one of the best angles on the B site, of course. Problem with the B site when you're jumping out is you have to probably check around, 10 different angles. And we'll come back to bite. Zorta, an angle I love to play myself, that back jail position. Often get yourself 1 and done, maybe even 2.
Oh, well, timing.
With another kill there, and as you say, timing Zello looking for more, and once again, Shelfie going above and beyond for his team.
Rusty.
But as you say, that is, considering it's over the edge of the smoke as well, Rusty, what a pick that is. Now, all Kenzie, 1v2. He does have the bomb, what can he do?
Problem is the player is in CT right now. As soon as Kenzie, he's going to have to fake the plancher to draw the player out. And well, Isaac's right there, immediately gets that kill. No trouble at all. Huge frag coming through from Rusty at range. Normally he wants an AWP in that position, and he's been pretty quiet here on Mirage so far. Only the 10 kills to his name. Everybody on GamerLegion pretty much underperforming besides Isaac so far, unfortunately. But that kill, well, worth its weight in gold as GamerLegion continues to breathe here on Mirage.
Yeah, just something that I want to bring up as well is the ADR from map 1, because I just spoke about the ADR on this map we're currently playing, but Shelfie actually finished map 1 with 122 ADR. Now that is impressive, and that's all I'm going to say on it, because we've used all the superlatives so far, it feels like.
Yeah, that is lights out numbers, man. from one of the most recent additions to the team here as well. Norby, nice little jiggle peek there. Spots the player towards the bottom of A ramp. Where's Zello right now? He's actually in apartments. Okay, holding a deep angle there. Does look like forZe have been able to secure middle control pretty much for free. Not much contest at all. Zero. He's taking so much damage through the smoke. Norby, his bullets were like tracer bullets there through the smoke. Heat-seeking missiles onto Zero. They get the first kill. Ian could be in danger here as well. Good awareness from him. Means he will get that frag.
There it goes into a 4v4. Must be checking toward Palace as well. Good timing. That finally does deal with Shalfie, but Zorta has the line from the push toward Connector, and he gets it. Unfortunately, he's not going to expect Isaac in window, and if he landed that shot, that would have been one to write home about. Jerry's still here, though, and he might catch the timing. Isaac, will he look away at any point? He doesn't, but Jerry, doesn't matter. Absolutely blindsides him with another kill coming in elsewhere, too. Leaves Zello 1 versus 2. Should get this kill, and does. Now it's a clean 1 versus 1. Norvi versus Zello. Zello has plenty of retake utility, and he can switch to a rifle in window here, I believe, as well. But he's going to choose to not even go anywhere near that. CT will be the play. Jungle will be the more obvious one, of course. He was spotted towards short. And will this smoke and nade and incendiary come back to haunt Norvi here? He's positioned himself behind the underback position right now. Time is now not on Zello's side. I think this might work out for Norvi in the end. And yeah, just as the smoke blooms, Norvi realizes that he's got all his utility out. And while that wasn't the wrong way to play it for Zello, Norvi takes him down.
He actually just outplayed Zello inadvertently there because he doesn't commit to Firebox, and the clues in the name. The molly actually comes through from Zello from CT, and if Norway had stayed tucked in there, Zello probably gets that shot as he comes out, but Norway had repositioned himself underneath the balcony, and you notice how he peeked out there, as you said, just before the smoke blooms. He gets in on that gunfight, and he does take Zello down, and with that, the round goes the way of forZe. 13-8, there's no cash in the bank yet for the CT side either, Trav. They're going to have to save. At least they've got a tiny bit of round loss bonus that accrued there. $2,400 to come into their bank if they lose this round, or should I say when they lose this round, as forZe are just continuing their ruthless run here in the semi-final. And remember, just a quick point, guys, we do have our fantastic title partners, Extra5. If you head to the panel below the Twitch channel, just head to their store. You use the promotional code WINTER10. You'll get a store-wide 10% discount from Extra5, one of the top peripheral companies in the world, so be sure to check them out. They gave us some love with some headsets that they sent to us, so much appreciated. Can confirm top-notch quality. Indeed,
and would recommend as well. Eco, as you say, coming in here for GamerLegion. And they've gone for a full 5-man stack on the B-bomb site. Nice work from our observer there, getting all 5 players in view. A little bit of the X-ray working out too. Unfortunately, forZe are choosing the right side here. They're walking in toward A slowly. Nades coming in. Not using too many smokes, of course, so it doesn't give, if there were anyone here, it doesn't give the CT side any chances to play around those smokes and catch a player off guard. Just smart play from forZe. Always like that plan. And in the end, it will mean that probably GamerLegion will not want to give anything away to forZe. There's no real reason for them to even swing into any of them. Maybe just group up toward a big flank and try and take one AK into the next round. Could be the idea. They're pushing all 5 toward the kitchen position right now. They're going to group up to possibly do some cooking.
Well, this game has heated up, that's for sure. At least from forZe's perspective, they are on fire. Not that forZe really need any inspiration to go for the extra kills here. It's not like they've got much cash either, right? All 5 players incredibly lower money. Love this angle taken up by Norway. You always check left and right before you cross the screen, but you never look in front of you, Trav.
Exactly. That's actually a really good point with that angle, because so often it's such a commonly played sort of default hold angle if anyone pushes B apartments, and often it always works out for you. Tight lines can be shoulder picked, of course, and put your aim off, so holding that one is usually the best form of attack and defense as well. And we're in a rare situation there where actually 9 players stay alive in a round, with I think only that 1 kill coming through when it comes to damage. No other damage taken on any of the players. So it's going to be nice for forZe. They're just 2 away from reaching our grand final against ENCE coming up after this game.
I mean, I was saying before this, I thought we had the pick in the semi-final because BLUEJAYS and ENCE was blow up, but it's looking like it could be the same here as well. Look at how quickly Zorta's been able to get into ladder room, and it does look like Zello's actually going to be aware of that. Man, I think the vent favored Zello there. That vent is just such a fiend in the game of Counter-Strike. Nobody knows how it works. Nobody knows how the damage gets traded. Nobody knows how much damage it absorbs. It's a mystery. But
it's a myth.
It is a myth. In the end, Zelo gets the kill and it's a man advantage in play for the CT side. And oh, how desperately they need this round.
They do. Problem is, Shalfie, Jerry, and Kenzie, all three alive, lurking toward A, waiting for a mistake to be made by GamerLegion, of course. With a minute left on the clock, they can afford to do that, and already one has come through. Rusty will go down, and Kenzie again takes Zelo out. Zelo given no chance to do anything with that one. Now it's down to Immet and Isaac. They're going to be smoked off in a few seconds' time. Zinio can come in to deny a default bomb plant, but there are, of course, other places to get that one through. Isaac towards CT could be the main factor here. Can he just swing? He can. And he does just about get the kill. It activates him at a peak and recovers it into a 1 versus 1. But Shalfie again! This guy doesn't miss ever! I haven't seen him miss one spray in the whole game. 25-9.
There's literally only one spray that I can think of, and it was the one where he was towards top middle.
And he still got a kill from that.
And he still got that kill eventually. Yeah, like this guy has just been playing some of the best Counter-Strike. I mean, he is in insane form right now. And he's what we call in crypto or stocks in general, it's called price discovery, when you don't know what the all-time high is of a stock or of a coin. That's Shelby right now. He's in like form discovery. We don't know how good this guy can get. He's just looking better and better as the weeks have been going on here with his time in pause. So, man, what an exciting prospect he is right now.
Yeah, and it goes from bad to worse as well. In the top mid, literally gets destroyed by that grenade. They're going to be trying to pounce toward B here. Here comes the XM shotgun. They're too ready for that one. And Immet probably needs 2 kills here with the FAMAS. They do line up for him a little bit there, but unfortunately can't connect the shot. Zelo's going to be looking for Jerry top mid. We can see that on the other side of the map right now, and he does take the kill. But I'm afraid the bomb has gone down toward B, and it's a full retake coming in with only a FAMAS and a Deagle with this AK of Zelo.
Man. Looks like we're going to be having a conversation with Jerry here a lot sooner than I expected, unless Zero can clutch this 1 versus 3. And exactly where he's coming from with only a FAMAS in his hands. He does not have any HP to work with, and there we go. Barely any even emotion on display there from the IGL. He knows the job's not done yet, Travis. That's only the semi-final, and there's still a
and I think we have pretty similar map pool. That means this game is going to be really close, and a lot from this game depends from snappy decision what they will pick. Because the last time they picked Nuke, and we were starting for City side, and we won them like 16-8 or 7. So I think there is a lot depends of snappy map pick. If he maybe pick Mirage and say, we just watched your game, we know your weaknesses, we will be ready because we like Mirage as well. And maybe they could pick Ancient because we're not playing this map. But again, City start, and you know, when good team facing not that good team against, if the not good team get City start, there is much possibility if you get a lot of City rounds in the beginning, you can close out the game with really close score. But if you take 11 or 12 rounds for City, sometimes it happens even with the really good team, they are not able to take a lot of rounds for T, you know, and we can finish game as well with a lot of City rounds. But I should say we are not bad at T because we have good communication since we have the win streak. You know, if you winning a lot of maps on the row, your communication is getting better and better all the time because the motivation of players, it increases all the day. Because you win. That means you're doing great. That means you have to talk. That means you have to work as much as it possible, 220%, and instead of 100, you know. And that's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's really great to listen to you, and obviously congratulations. I wish you the best of luck in that grand final. Hayes, last comments from you.
Yeah, well, last question I want to ask, Jerry, is obviously you've been in a fantastic journey so far with forZe. You had that great run with obviously ENCE Power and Almeza and Blitz, and this is a completely new project now with, you know, Shelfie and Norway coming into the mix. Obviously Kenzie and Zorta have been there for a while, but how is this project feeling with, you know, for you when you compare the one of the past where you had lots of well-known players who are really good, and now you're kind of building a team from a different perspective, but it seems like you guys are doing really well. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think it all depends on coach, because the coach is actually like, you know, strategic machine, because I know the weaknesses of opponents, but to beat these weaknesses really good, you need a good strategy. So I was discussing from back to 2019 and even 18. I was discussing strategies with Striker, that one of our coaches. After that Little, after that LMBTR, after that Little again, and now Fierce. And I got a lot of experience from them. I know how to handle game from aggressive perspective. I know how to handle it from passive perspective and something between it as well. So I think each new project I will get in my next career, I will figure out how to work with that. But still, this is hard from, you know, once you are trying to explain something to new players, they say, yes, we understand. And 2 months forward, you see that they don't understand, but they say they do. So this is the hardest part from, you know, nervous system. Like you see that guys are hardworking, but it's not working at all. And in Counter-Strike, there is no books, you know, there is no university where you can go and teach.
There's no right way.
So yes, there is no right way. There is always a little gamble from organizations and from players as well. So can players get chemistry between each other? Can they fit each other? Do they fit the play style? And from organizations, it's the other questions. We will not discuss it because, you know, it's some paperwork. And I think, I think that this project might get a really good shot, because I have now hardworking players that they like, you know, they like to overperforming after the Prague day, for example. They like to watch some Counter-Strike WOTS from previous days, not for example IEM Katowice that's happening now. You can just pick up some old things and just watch it. And after I joined the warm-up on the next day, they telling me some good things from they saw. And our coach as well, he got more more I should say system view on the Counter-Strike. Maybe you heard from some good tier 1 teams from BLUEJAYS, for example, or Tapson. Those guys were talking about chests. It's like, you know, you forcing people to do what you want, and that's how you create the gap in the game. It's the Counter-Strike in 2022. It's more complex now than it was in back 2020, for example. So our coach understands it, and he helps me to understand that pretty well. So I think our project is working not good, but it's close to it.
Well, the thing is, there's so much potential, and it's very exciting, Jerry, and you guys are looking really good. So we wish you the best of luck for your grand final against ENCE. And thank you so much for your interview, man. You give amazing answers and really nice insight into all the questions that we have as well. So thank you so much.
Much love, man.
Thank you as well, guys. Have a good evening, day, whatever.
Thank you, Jerry. Yeah.
You too.
Cheers, Jerry. Catch you for the next one, mate. Good luck in the final.
Yeah.
Well, there we go, Trav. We have some awesome information on forZe now. I mean, we just got to pick the brain of the guy at the top of the helm, man.
Yeah, this guy. Oh my goodness, that is probably. Like, obviously, we've seen Jerry in some interviews, right? You know, for like ESL and for like my majors in the past as well. And he's always given some great answers and has props on that. But he continues to do so, you know, in small events as well, tier 2 events, and he's giving us casters as well just brilliant answers with his questions. Very, very good English as well. Like, absolutely, what a legend. I was really appreciative of that interview. That's one I might even watch back later because that was so informative. I love that indeed. But yeah, Hayes. For me and you, that's it for us now in the Pinnacle Winter Series 2. We will be back, of course, to Pinnacle Winter Series number 3, which is obviously going to be happening next month. But for now, we're going to hand the reins to Exnet and Antran for the grand final. So what I will say is we'll see you guys then. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy Kato. Enjoy the grand final of this event as well. Stay safe and peace.